Okay, cool. All right, we're back in business. Okay, I'm going to welcome everybody. I'm Edward Pereira. I'm your host. My co-host is my good friend and business partner, Attila Henesy, a good-looking gentleman himself, as well as another good-looking gentleman, the creator of this brilliant platform that we're going to talk to you about and give you the flyover, Mr. Ed Barsano. So, Ed, thank you so much for joining us. Um, you know, giving us the opportunity to tap into your brain on a regular basis is just not only exhilarating, but it's changed our lives and it's changing everybody's lives.
I think
So,
if you could tap into my brain, you'd see a lot of repetition, the same stuff over and over and over. It's all I think about is the crypto market and the crypto software. I'm just always, where are we, how can I improve it? And what's going on? How do I improve support, help people help themselves? What are they looking at that can make it easier?
right, right. Well,
So you'd
uh,
be very bored in my brain.
well, it sounds like you've got Chat GPT, Poppy AI, and all the other AIs as part of your neural network, which is where the genius came from. So, but all that is a long way to say we appreciate you and thank you so much for devoting your very valuable time to educating us and everyone else. So, with that, I'm going to start by sharing a slide and showing you some expectations of what you can expect. Most of you have seen it, but the newbies, welcome. We appreciate your valuable time. You're in the middle of joining us in the middle of the week, a very busy work week in the middle of the day. Most of you, we're always at 2 o'clock Eastern time, but we're glad you're here. And not to shun our repeat offenders. We love you guys. Thank you for the support. And here we go. Um,
All right.
all right. What can you expect? One word, transformation. You're going to see something that doesn't exist anywhere else on the planet. Those of you that are here that support us on a regular basis, we always appreciate when you chime in to comment on people's comments, people that are new to this. But as excuse me, as our repeating guests are coming back. They've gone through this process. Excuse me just a second. I think I'm going to sneeze.
Up you. God
Sorry
bless.
about that. I got a tickle in my throat. But as I was saying, they're very helpful because we don't ask them to comment. If they'd like to comment about their experience, then it usually is much better of an authority, a buyer telling you how their experience is as being part of this community takes away our need to sell you. We're not here to sell you on anything. We're here to educate you about how you can improve a portion or as much of your financial life as you wish to, right? So transformation is where we'll start and that's where we'll end. So take away what the goodies that we're going to give you. I always say this, put your 6-point racing harness on because when you see some of the things that we have that are going to make you scratch your head and seem unbelievable, we don't want you falling out of your chair and bumping your head. But you're going to see some things that you're going to go, that can't be possible. But it is. Everything we share with you today is going to be factually based about what it is, what it's done, and what it has the potential to do. You're going to see a system that automates crypto trading, but it's not just an automated crypto trader. It's not a bot this and a bot that. This is 25 years of technology perfected in a way that takes all of the work, as I always comment to Mr. Barsano. He's taken all the sport out of making money. It's almost boring because it prints money for you. And we consider this a life trader and platform, and it does all the work for you. It's never existed before. It will likely never exist again. And if it does, if somebody tries to figure out how to create it, it's 25 years old. It has 25 years of clean, very highly effective trading data in it that if you started now, you'd be fighting with a 1-year-old would be fighting with a 25-year-old. So you get a chance to see what we have deemed, or I called the $1 billion report, which gives you inside the system identifies optimal trading opportunities. So it takes all that work out. You don't have to do thousands of hours of work to figure out how to be a reasonable trader to then cover your eyes and throw a dart and think maybe you might be on the right 50% side. All of that work's done for you. You'll see a live demonstration of the platform, actually several. So we'll give you examples from different lenses, and you're going to understand why this is a set it and forget it environment. And take that literally. My partner, Mr. Henesy, will hammer that home as well. But enjoy what you see. Take it away as knowledge, because nobody else on the planet's teaching this. Period. Right. A little bit about my background for 15 seconds, as I was 30 plus years of federal agent. My little teeny weeny superpower in that is that I know what the matrix has set out to do from 150 years ago in the financial system and the educational system. And pretty much everything you know about finance and your personal finances, and I'm not afraid to say it, is a scam. You've been taught how to be just over broke, how to go to school, get a job, trade time for money. What you're going to see here gives you the opportunity to buy your time back, because we can make money, but we can't make time. So lots of big red letters. I'm not going to read it word for word, but this is what you're going to see today is educational and informational purposes only. We're not tax, investment, financial, legal advisors. We're not certified in anything other than we're kind of nice guys trying to teach people how to make a better way and to prosper for their family. Now, I understand Mr. Barsano is working on his marital certification, but if you want marital advice, then you can chat with him.
I'm married 45 years. I know the secret.
just do what she says. The results are not guaranteed.
Keep your wife happy.
As I said, yeah, we'll look back. This platform was created and released, excuse me, in April of 2021, and we'll show you what it's done. And it's pure fact. They're factual reports. They're factual results. Future results are not guaranteed, but in a 90% down market, this has created very high returns, and it's never seen a bull market. So when it does, you can only guess what it's going to do. You're here.
Yeah, we're in uncharted territory there. You know, this trader has been in this market. The market's been going down for the last 4 years. And that was actually a blessing to the auto trader, if you don't mind me jumping in like that. It's been a blessing for the auto trader because we know what it'll do in a terrible market.
That's
and
proven.
we know it cleans up even in a bad market. So boy, I can't wait for the market to turn up. I am so excited, and that's coming. And I can tell you why.
Everybody that owns a trader is excited about the exact same thing, because this is your own personal money printer, and we consider it a life system, right? If you give it $1 and it gives you $2 back, how many more dollars are you going to give it? All of them, right? So you're here at your own risk. Everything you see is as is. You can ask all the questions that you want. Matter of fact, it's a good time for me to mention, because I forgot, is that the chat function is open so everybody can talk amongst themselves. Just be professional and kind. That's all that we ask. And if you have a question that you don't want missed, then ask it in the Q&A section. Once we go through the overview, then we're going to switch into the Q&A section and we answer whatever questions that you have. But here's the good news. You're also going to see a very advanced Q&A section that gives you the chance to do more of your homework, do your own what do you say? Attila, do your own research, right?
DYOR. Yeah.
Right. So I have a very advanced Q&A section that continues to grow day by day within Mr. Barsano's platform. And it's awesome. I don't think there's anything missing from this platform that you would need to go anywhere else. Last thing I'll talk about is important takeaways. Oops, wrong slide. Important takeaways. We strive to give you 6-star white glove service. You ask anybody that's in the chat that's joined us that's here that has used our services. I hope you get positive results. We just mentioned, I think it was last week, we announced that Financial Intelligence has created a community. You'll see Financial Intelligence, excuse me, with both Attila and I, and it's a learning platform, so that's going to continue to evolve as the market evolves. We will pass out Crypto Casey's exclusive discount if you choose to take advantage of what you see here. And then we'll explain that. And then we post all of the replays on the Financial Intelligence for You YouTube channel, and I'll post that as well. But with that, I know that was much longer than my normal intro. I'll stop sharing. I'll turn it over to Mr. Henesy to tell you a little bit about his background and why we're here. Excuse me, and also introduce our mutual friend who he's known 12 years longer than I have, Mr. Barsano.
Thank you, Edward. Great intro. And that was actually, I think, shorter than you usually make it. So congratulations to you. Yeah. No,
I covered a lot more material.
I was watching.
Started off a little shaky. I mean, I feel like we haven't done a webinar in months, and it's only been a couple days.
Yeah, true.
I know, it's crazy. But anyway, yeah, my name is Attila Henesy. I'm here in Florida, and my job is to give you a little bit of background on me, and also tell the story of how it is that I met Mr. Barsano and how this all came about. And of course, as a result, we're all here today, which is a great thing. So thanks for being here. So Mr. Barsano, when he got out of the Navy, he worked in nuclear engineering for a few years for the government. And then he was one of the first 300
Can you
people
see my
hired
face light up the way it lights up?
Yeah, yeah, right.
You have a certain glow to you, yes.
It rubbed off. But anyway, you know, he literally was one of the first 300 people hired by Bill Gates himself at Microsoft. Now, this is in the mid 80s when Microsoft was going straight up vertical. And he did very, very, very well with them. He was the lead programmer on most projects. And he retired a young man. He was under 40 years old. He was bored to death once he was retired. So he started investing in the tech stocks because the internet revolution was going vertical back then. And I used to say, unfortunately, but really fortunately for all of us and the rest of the world, he got his butt kicked in the 2000 market crash. And as a result, he said, you know what? This thing is obviously rigged. I am going to level the playing field, and I'm going to develop with my programming prowess a robotic autonomous stock market trader so people don't have to gamble. So everybody has a fair shot at making money. And he proceeded to do that. He launched it, I believe, in 2001. And he's been programming ever since for 24, 25 years, programming robotic autonomous traders. Now, I met him in 2012. A friend of mine, mutual friend, said, Attila, how'd you like to trade the stock market without doing a darn thing? And that didn't make sense to me, but I wanted to know more. So he introduced me to Ed. I had a chat, and about 15, 20 minutes into that conversation, I said, okay, stop. I get it. I want to buy this trader. So I bought the license. I used it. I was blown away. Now, back then, it was a little bit more tedious, much more tedious and cumbersome than now because it was downloadable software. So, but once you took 60 to 90 minutes to download that software, it turned itself on automatically at 9:30 in the morning on a Monday morning when the stock market opened up, traded for you all day long, and took profits. If it didn't take a profit, if it went down enough, it bought more at a lower price. So it did this 100% unattended for you. And then it shut down at 4 o'clock when the market closed. Now, when I say 100% unattended, that means you don't have to do any supervising of the platform. There's no screen time. You don't need to interact at all. You could literally be on a plane going from New York to San Diego, and you're 35,000 feet up, and this thing's making money for you. Now, that's kind of a mind blower in today's 2025, but back in 2020, 2021, and between 2020, it was pretty impressive, even much more impressive than it is now. But this is
Especially in 2001.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who saw anything like that, right? Nobody until they saw your platform. So anyway, Mr. Barsano ran into a marketing company he joined forces with for a couple of years when I met him. And they sold $16 million worth of licenses in just 2 years. But partnerships are tough. He wanted to protect his brand, so we went back to being solo. And in 2018, roughly, he sold out to a hedge fund who had previously purchased many, many licenses from him. This is kind of where the story takes a little turn. I met him, I spoke to him again a year and a half ago when I was sitting at my desk frustrated because I'm a cash flow guy. I've got a good crypto portfolio, but I love cash flow. And I had lost quite a bit of money over the last March 24, back 3.5 years. I lost quite a bit of money in 5 different blockchain crypto cash flow projects. Now, the reason I lost those monies is because the monies were not, or the crypto was not controlled by me. That crypto was sitting on a third-party exchange or third-party wallet. So when things went south, I couldn't get to my crypto. So that this is a very important point that you'll get in a minute. So I'm sitting there frustrated going, gosh, how can I safely and securely earn more crypto on my crypto? And it hit me a day later. It took me a day, but it hit me between the eyes right here. And I said, oh my gosh, I forgot about Ed Barsano. I'll bet my life on the fact that somewhere in the last 3 to 5 years, he's created a robotic autonomous trader for crypto. I had his number in my cell phone still. I tracked him down. We spoke for 3 hours and he confirmed my hunch. He said, Attila, I did indeed start from scratch and I launched this in April of 21 with AI. And as soon as I launched it and it was running for about an hour, I said, oh my gosh, I'm done with stocks. And he gave me 4 compelling reasons why this was light years ahead of the stock trader. So I listened real carefully, and I'd like all of you to listen carefully because this is the nitty-gritty of my portion here. Number one, he said, the stock market trades 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Crypto's 24/7, 365. That's a big advantage. And I said, I agree. That's a major advantage. He said, number two, you know as well as I do that in order to make money in any market, stock market, crypto, precious metals, Forex, you need a ton of volatility. There is not an asset class on planet Earth with more volatility than crypto, and I agreed again. But number 3 and number 4 were, to me, the magic behind this whole thing. Number 3 was this. He said, Attila, guess what? Great news. It's not downloadable software anymore. It's web-based. Now, I didn't know exactly what that meant, so I asked Ed, what does that mean? He said, well, that means in less than 10 minutes, I could have you trading live through your Coinbase account, because I told him I use Coinbase. I said, are you serious? Let's go. I bought the license on the spot, and in somewhere between 8 and 9 minutes, he had me connected with the API connection live to my Coinbase. I was live with just under $10,000 of USDC. Now, folks, I remember 2012. That was a world apart from what I remember. But number 4 should be the most important thing to everybody on this Zoom. And you all know this is still a nascent new asset class. There have been a ton of scams. So safety and security of your funds is the utmost important thing. So he said, Attila, I created an API connection. That API connects to your own Coinbase or your own Kraken account. So I can't touch your money. You control your monies 1,000% of the time. I said, Ed, that's genius, because I explained my experience with losing all those monies in 5 different projects. So I said, Ed, we got to bring this to the world and get this out. He's self-admittedly, he's not a sales and marketing guy. He's a programming genius. So I said, let's put our heads together and bring this to the world. And that's kind of why we're all here. But I would like the last thing I'm going to say is I would like everybody to keep 2 things at the forefront of your mind. And that is, number 1, as we go through this, you're going to hear us say, set it and forget it, or 100% unattended, numerous times. Please take that literally. When we say set it and forget it, there's no screen time. There's no interacting. This is not copy trading. You could buy this and go to the other side of the world, not even look at it for 2 months. It's still making money for you on Ed Barsano's servers. It's remarkable in that regard. There's nothing like this. The second thing I'd like you to all keep in mind is, folks, understand what this man has brought forth to the world. It's never been done. It's incredible. Without anybody, when we say he leveled the playing field, what that means, without anybody being an accredited investor, without anyone knowing anything about trading, without anyone knowing anything about crypto, you could now automate a portion of your financial life and make money while you sleep. That's never been done before. Warren Buffett said it best: if you're not making money while you sleep, you're going to work till you die. And that's the sad truth. So we've got to put our money to work. It's our responsibility to give our money a job. There's no better way. You'll discover here in the next hour, there's no better way to give your money a job and put it to work to earn more money on itself than with this robotic trader, because it's got a 25-year track record. This is not like, will it work? Can it work? Does it work? It's been working 25 years. The test is over. Okay. So with that, Ed, before I introduce you, I'd like to bring Edward back real quick, because Edward, literally 1 day shy of 6 months ago, you made an adjustment with your paper trading account. That's a mind blower. Do you mind sharing the screen and explaining what happened there? Tomorrow will be 6 months to the day.
It will be 6 months to the day. No, I don't mind at all, because it further proves that Mr. Barsano, his team are genius, because I referenced the $1 billion report in the overview, or the expectations, and I put it to work and wanted to prove for myself, not prove somebody wrong, but go, let me see the power of this thing. So here's what I did. So I created a simulation, and it's been traveling ever since, profitably. So I started this, if you notice, if everybody can see my screen, March 25th,
Yeah.
6 months tomorrow.
Yep.
I created, now don't worry about the number that I created, the amount that I used to create it, because it's simulation. But the good news is that simulation or live trading, the trader doesn't know the difference. It thinks it's making me money, which it's at the very least proving a very, very powerful hypothesis, is that when you see this, and I'll flash it up, but I'm not going to give you any detail, but I'm going to tell you where I got the data from. It's from the $1 billion report. But let me give you a quickie overview, and then Mr. Barsano later in the presentation will give you a more detailed. So I started this with $100,000. The account value is 118, a little bit over $118,000. You can see what I'm trading with. Ignore Zora, because that was an experiment to prove a point. In the last 30 days, in my sleep, it's generated 2,700, which is actually very low month, because the market has been sideways and sort of just consolidating for the big rocket ship. But hey, almost $2,800 is not chump change. That more than pays for my house payment. So I'll take that in my sleep. Over I'll just say 6 months, over that period, $42,791.05 was made.
Wow.
% hands off in my sleep. So let's just say it's 6 months, right? I went to public school, so I'm going to have to do the math on a calculator. Oh, 42,
7,000.
791.05. Let's just say it has the same performance over the next 6 months. It's running at a rate of $85,582.10. Or, since I started, one of the reasons behind starting with a round number is that it's running at an annual return of 85.5%. Now
Let me stop you. Let me stop you for a minute and make sure everybody understands. There's no guarantee of that. It all depends when you started, which coins you're trading. Your results could be less. Your results could be half. Your results could be 1/4. 1/4 of that would still be an unbelievable return, but it could be much more than this. It's all as we go through this. The third thing, actually, that I should want everybody to remember is everything we're explaining today about the trader, it's market dependent. Ed, what do you say? This trader will give us whatever the market is willing to give the trader, right? So
right, we
just
don't
keep
dictate
that in
to the
mind.
market. The market dictates to us.
Exactly. Sorry, Edward, I just had to get that in.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. But
I'm not worried.
yeah, where was I? Oh, so it's currently running at oh, by the way, a 90+% down market and about 50% in the last 3 months. So half of this simulation period has been down. But it's still wiggling. And you'll understand what wiggling means and why it's so important since it's such a highly technical term. But 85%, if it were to repeat itself, or if you had a similar situation, but let's just say it's 30%, 30% with cash flow. So this doesn't just make you money. It doesn't become the ATM of Anthony. It spits out cash flow. As Mr. Barsano will repeat this later on. He uses Coinbase, and Coinbase has a debit card. And every time he goes shopping, he mentally thinks about, I'm going to steal your thunder for a second. Every time he goes and spends money, it's the card that keeps on giving because he can't spend money fast enough because the trader just replaces whatever he spends, which is kind of cool. I mean, wouldn't it be cool to consistently not have to worry about having more money at the end of your month than more month at the end of your money? I know I've been there. I know I'm not there now. Thank you, Mr. Barsano. So this example proves the fact, and I'll end with talking about these, but the current profit saved. So when you buy the trader, it's automatically all the default settings are already in place. All you have to do is fund your account, connect the API from the trader to your exchange. Done. Go live your life. As I said in the beginning, it helps you buy your time back. So you're no longer having to, over time, if you look at this as a life trader, eventually get to the point where it takes over all of your bills and you can buy all your time back. Isn't that important when you're talking about spending time with loved ones? Look, I'll be 61 years old in a couple of months. I've got a 10-year-old on purpose. How much time do I want to spend with him?
What do you mean by on purpose?
Well, on purpose. On purpose, I had you know what I did in my
No, actually, I
prior
don't.
lives, right? Well, yeah, I've mentioned before that I was a federal agent for 32 years.
Oh, so you waited.
Yeah, well, I waited. Listen, running around the
All
world,
right.
chasing people, doing secret squirrel stuff and getting shot at and shooting back. Not conducive to a relationship, not conducive
Oh,
to
all
a
right. All
family.
right. All
So
right.
that's where now you have a reference point, right?
Thank
But
you.
like I
Threw me
said
off.
before, I know what's happening behind the scenes. I know what the program, and the program's not going to change just because you will it to change. It's going to change because you make it change. When you take advantage of things like this that don't exist anywhere else, where you can consistently make cash flow, it makes your life a little bit easier, right? And when I say on purpose, how much time do you want to spend with your loved ones and family? The answer is as much time as you can. So this gives you that opportunity over time. So it's defaulted to save 100% of your profits, which means it sets them aside in an invisible bucket. Now, a couple of fine points. This platform, the automated crypto trading and money management platform, pay attention to the money management part because that is the star of the dish. Excuse me. It's defaulted to save 100%. So all of your money resides in your exchange, whether it be Coinbase or Kraken. The trader has no access other than and no authorization other than send buy and sell orders to your account. That's it. It's 100% secure. That is one of the cornerstones that Attila talked about that Mr. Barsano put into the system, and for good reason, right? This crypto space is still the wild west. It's obviously getting to be institutionally mainstream, and it's going to reach the retail level. And just hold on to your hat. So if you're thinking about getting involved and you don't know anything about it, you've fallen in the right pile because financial intelligence for you is here to take you through that step by step. But we can't tell you it's any easier than what we just explained and what we are continuing to explain about this platform. It's just we've streamlined it to make it too easy. Now you can, if you look at the profit saved versus the profit taken, about 3 months in, I changed it from saving everything, which means compounding all that it made back into the trader so it can make more. But then Mr. Barsano suggested, hey, listen, in a down market, you might want to just squirrel your nuts away and save it for when the market starts turning up. So then I changed it about 3 months in to save no profit to saving all of the profit. That's why these two numbers are different. But you have and we'll go through this a little bit later. We'll show the profit management so that you have control of your castle, and that's it. These symbols, all but Zora, came out of the top performers in the $1 billion report. I'm not even going to flash it. I'm going to make you wait so that Mr. Barsano can surprise you. But you can see across the way. Remember, in a 50% down market in the past 6 months since I lit this up, forget Zora. Look at this. It is net profit all the way around, meaning I have more than what I started with and almost $43,000 worth of profits. So with that, keep listening. I'm going to turn it back over to Attila, and we'll give you more detail on the trade.
Okay. Thank you, Edward. Great. Those are amazing, amazing results. Wow. Edward, Ed Barsano, we thank you for being here every Wednesday and giving up 2 or 3 hours of your time every week for the benefit of Crypto Casey's audience. And by the way, Edward and I, in case you're wondering, Edward and I are the support and educational mechanism or arm for Crypto Casey on behalf of the trader and how it works and all things GBT, Go Baby Trade. So anyway, Ed Barsano,
Well, he
the floor is
definitely helped
yours.
me get the message out.
Yeah,
Because I'm not a marketing kind of guy.
yes, absolutely. But
Well, we're sort of as good looking as you are too. So I mean, I'd say if you mix Warren Buffett, Robert Redford, rest in peace, and and Einstein together, you get Mr. Barsano, right? I actually have Mr. Barsano's bust on my desk. So
Quit calling me a genius. It's because I drink smart water.
there you go. I swear we're gonna have to contact them and have them sponsor the show.
yeah. Okay, Ed, take it away.
So, all right. Well, I have my trusty Apple iPad 101.
Version 1.
I take notes when you guys are talking, and because I really don't know what I'm going to talk about because there's so many things you can talk about. But I knocked out Genius there. I covered that. But I heard you mention right away, Attila, you mentioned bot. I heard you say bot, and I know you weren't calling Go Baby Trade a bot. There is
No way.
a huge difference between these so-called bots, they call them, because they never had bots when it was just the stock market. All of a
Right.
sudden, in the last couple of years, this term bot popped up in the last few years. And you have a bot versus an auto trader. Now the auto trader is 25 years old, and the bots just popped up. And I was sitting here thinking just now, the difference between the two, and right off the bat, besides the fact that they're brand new and the bots don't know anything, I mean, they can't know what they don't know. They can't know what they haven't seen because of the market has been, the robotic traders have been running for 25 years. And so they've seen a lot. They've seen all the misinformation that comes across the feed, the data feeds, the problems that the brokers are throwing at you. They'll do partial orders. They'll do an order and then an hour later they'll send you 2 more shares of something. And it's like, where did that come from? Where did these 2 shares just appear out of nowhere? Somebody's got to do, the software's got to deal with all that stuff. It's called reconciliation, matching up with the broker. And and I've dealt with all that for years and years, and you're always improving and you're always, and the nice thing about programming is it's not like you have to remember all these new rules. You program a rule and the auto trader never forgets it. So that when it sees it again, it says, whoa, wait, I've seen that. I know how to handle that. I know how to handle, where do these 2 shares just come from? I know how to handle that. Okay. But the biggest thing that is a bot is thinking about an individual trade. You're making a trade. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at a single trade, whereas the robotic trader, the software, is a trader for life. It's actually building inventory. It's buying at the right times and the right amounts. Number one, to make sure you can trade forever. That's what's nice about these smart water bottles. They're real big. They're great for props. Okay. If you buy up here, you want to still be able to buy 90% lower and still be in the game, buying and selling. Whereas a bot, these bots that are out there, I don't even know what they're doing as far as why they do what they do, but they're making a trade and they're thinking that trade is going to go up, and that's it. Whereas the auto trader, the Go Baby Trade, is not saying that I bought it and it's going to go up, because I don't know what it's going to do. You don't know what it's going to do. If you knew what every trade was going to do, you'd be richer than Warren Buffett. That's a fact. How you handle losers, how you handle positions that are going the wrong way is going to matter over your lifetime, whether you're going to get rich using this software or not. And that's because the software is preparing you for when the market starts going the wrong way, and planning. Like, we all know that there's right now, we're getting ready to go into this crypto, what do they call it, a crypto season, is it, for the next few months?
Alt season, alt
Alt
season.
season, all right.
Yeah.
And the auto trader doesn't know anything about an alt season. All it knows is it's buying, and it's dealing with a market that's crashing. And it's what I've been saying for the last month. We're gonna see blood in the streets, folks, before this market turns up. But that's actually good for an auto trader. That's why I mentioned in the chat room, someone said Jonathan, I think it was, or Jason. I'm not sure if it was Jonathan or Jason. Someone said that they were gonna wait until October to sign up, and I'm like, whoa, wait, don't get on started now. Get started now, because while the market's going lower, we're having, like, all of us running auto traders have seen like 5 days in a row going down. That's great. You're building inventory while it's down. And you're gonna sell that later when the market takes off. So the software's planning for where the market's gonna go later. It doesn't mean you have to buy something and it goes straight up, because if that's what your plan is, well, good luck there. Go to Vegas, because that to me is just gambling. If you buy something and plan on it just going straight up immediately, and then when it goes down, you feel like a loser. Don't feel like a loser. However, the software knows how to hold that position and sell it later at a huge profit. And I'm gonna go over all of that. So that to me is the difference between a bot and a robotic trader. The robotic trader is looking at lifetime trading, lifetime wealth, whereas a bot's just looking at, I bought it and I hope it goes up right now, because for some whatever reason they're doing some kind of prediction and hoping that they're right. And of course they're not. They can't be. If I knew what a coin was going to do tomorrow, I'd be the richest guy in the world.
Ed, can I interject just on that thought as well? Another
Sure.
thing that struck me with it, we don't really articulate, and people generally don't have a grasp of, some do, is that these bots and this and that and the other, what are these things are all they do is spit out indicators, right? Meaning you could be asleep, middle of the night, and somehow it says buy this or sell that. Or it can be when you're in the shower or when you're at work or whatever the case may be. But what really struck me was there's nothing else in the marketplace that actually does all of that smart analysis and then automatically trades it for you. It doesn't send you an indication. It just sends you profit. Is that fair?
Right. Well, that's what the software is doing. It's actually when you've already won when the software made the trade, whether the coin goes higher or lower. That's the beauty. So the software, when it decides to buy a coin, it's not just looking at, is it going to go straight up? It's saying, what if this coin goes straight down? Do I want to buy it? Do I want to buy it even though it might go straight down? And if it does, it's okay, because the software planned for that. And that's a big difference. A lot of people will throw all their money in because they think that something's going to happen, and they'll put all their money in. I call that the top. Doesn't matter where they do it, you know, the coin could be lower and then they jump in right here, but if they're not planning for what happens when it goes down, they might use up all their money up here. And then when it does go down, they're out of the game. For instance, Alchemy Pay, ACH, one of my #1 coins, that I've been trading for 4 years. It was 12 cents 4 years ago, and now it's under 2 cents. You'd think, well, I'm getting killed, but I'm not. You know, I'm actually taking a fortune off the table during that 4 years. So I'm so far ahead that even if the company went out of business, they could never get back all the money that I took out of the market already off that coin, off the wiggles. So the software knows what it's doing and how it's going to handle the loser. That's the big difference. And executing the trades automatically all the way back in 2001. I mean, that was like a #1 thing. If it's not an auto trader to me, it's not even an auto trader if I have to log into it every morning to start it up.
Good point.
This auto trader runs on my servers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't have to worry about it at all. You know, you like Attila said, you could be in an airplane flying across the country. It's not even running on your home computer. There's no way you could run Go Baby Trade on your home computer because it would just bring your computer to its knees. You know, you wouldn't even be able to log into your email. But it's on our servers. The servers handle all that, and you don't have to worry about it. All right, so the next thing I had on there, I just wanted to cover that bot versus Go Baby Trade. It's a huge difference. I mean, there's no comparison. Can you set it and forget it? Set it and forget it's an interesting thing. Because, yeah, the answer is yeah, you do set it and forget it. You turn it on and you let it run. But can you mentally set it and forget it?
No.
That's the problem. That's the thing. When I heard you, Attila, you said you set it and forget it, and we really mean that. And I was thinking, well, yeah, sure you can set it and forget it, which is what we all do. I haven't looked at my trader in days. I have no idea what they've done all week. I haven't even been looking at them because I know the auto trader's doing all the trading, and I have 100% faith in what it's doing. Um, but can you, if you've never done it before, you're going to be looking at things that it's doing that are contrary to what you've been taught. And, you know, to what the way it's trading, and you're not thinking it. Because sometimes somebody will say, well, if it's not going to use all the money, why don't I take the money out and use it somewhere else? It is using all the money. It's just not buying a bunch of coins with all the money.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's using the money in all of its mathematical calculations. It's just not throwing it all in the market at one time. So, you know, so there's a psychological aspect there that you'll eventually be at ease with the market. I mean, do you guys, Edward and Attila, do you guys even think about your trader at all?
No.
No, we spend 99% of our time figuring out how we can continue to bless everybody that's never seen this and doesn't know what crypto
Right.
or
The
decentralized
opportunity,
finance is. I
the
mean,
opportunity, yeah.
you got everybody that's here is smarter. It's just plain old smart because 92%, this is not a made up number, go Google it or chat GPT it. 92% of the people on the planet have no idea what crypto is and what it means to the future of their finances. That's 92, not 22, 92. And of that, only 2% have ever transacted in it. So guess
Well,
what?
Edward,
You're way
the
ahead.
other
Well, they're
thing is,
also being bombarded. The public is being bombarded with so much misinformation
yeah.
that they're literally being steered away from it. And I feel very bad. I feel sad actually for that. And some people are so if I don't like crypto, do I really have to pound other people into not liking crypto also? Do
It's
I have
human
to say,
nature.
if I say, well, crypto isn't FDIC insured, Coinbase said the money that you have in your account is FDIC insured. So there you go. But you see, but you're gonna have someone who has misinformation gonna try to push that out to the public and try to, they literally are trying, why are they trying to talk other people out of it? Think of how many people were sitting on 100 shares of Bitcoin 10 years ago, and they got talked out of it by their friends and other people saying, get out. Every time Bitcoin made a bad turn down, they're like, get out, you're gonna lose everything. And we're in that boat right now. We're actually in that situation. And this is what I've been saying for the last month, is we're gonna see blood in the streets because the whales, the wealthy, are loading up. They're pushing these coins lower and lower because that's their only tool to scare you. They only have one tool, and that's all they can do. They can push the prices lower, and then if you have open positions of something, it's going to push the value of those coins lower, which brings your account value lower, which makes you scared. And then you're getting bombarded by all this other people out there saying, get out, you're going to lose everything, they're making a fool of you, these cryptos aren't even real. And when I hear that, I mean, how do you argue with these? How do you debate? Because I know these coins are real. These are multi-million-dollar companies. It's like buying Gillette for 2 cents a share, in the 40s, and here we are, the opportunity of a lifetime, literally of a lifetime. You literally could be Warren Buffett. You literally could be Warren Buffett yourself without having to wait until you're 100 years old like he is, or he's getting up there. It took him years and years and years to make that kind of money. I did the math on what he started with. He started with $10,000. Well, yeah, $10,000 were like $10 million. Are you starting with $10 million? I mean, he started with $10 million like 50 years ago or 70 years ago. It's like, well, yeah, of course, by now he turned his 10 million into, the market went up a lot. But I don't want to have to wait forever. I want an auto trader that cranks out money constantly. What we have here is better than what he had. The opportunity we have here is off the map, but misinformation. Can you set it and forget it and not be panicking and changing the strategy all the time? I'm not lying. People are changing their strategy, some people, every day. And I'm like,
That's
you're making changes to your strategy in a down market. The coins, you can't make the coins go up. I know in your dreams you want to buy that coin and watch it go straight up. You can't even trade the crypto market if that's your goal. If that's the mentality you're going to have, that gambling mentality of saying, when I buy it, it must go straight up. Well, I don't know how to fix that. I can only say go to, I mean, Las Vegas is the only thing I can think of where you're gonna put something on a craps table and roll. I was gonna say spin the wheel, but or on a roulette wheel, put it on a number and then spin the wheel and hope that it goes up. But that's not what trading is about. It's about money management, risk management, building a portfolio. What this software does, this is 25 years of development. It's building your portfolio. Even when you think the market's going lower, that's a good thing. What do I always say? I mean,
down is good.
down is good. And that's what I try to tell people. And then another phrase I often use is a well-seasoned auto trader has a lot of inventory. Well, if you're sitting on a lot of inventory, what does that mean? The inventory is down, because if it was up, you'd be selling it. The trader would automatically be selling it. You're building inventory. You're actually punishing the market for going down. You say, hey, market, you want to go down? I'll buy more at a lower price. I used to say that about Microsoft. When Microsoft was sitting at $30 a share, I'm like, they want to go down from 45 to 30? I'll buy more at 30. Now what are you going to do, market? You're going to go lower? Because if you go higher, I'm going to take money. I don't care if you go from 30 to $31. You're going to give me money. I'm going to close positions that I bought at 30 at 31 and take profit. Now what are you going to do, market? You're going to keep running Microsoft lower until they go out of business just to steal a few $1,000 from me? Go ahead, I dare you. And that's how I feel about the crypto market. Yeah, we're loading up like crazy. We are doing what the whales are doing, what the wealthy are doing. I mean, the Trump Family Foundation is sitting on billions of dollars of crypto, and they didn't buy all that crypto at, at a low price. They bought it at a higher price, and the price came down. They're sitting on a lot of. The Trump Family Foundation is sitting on a bunch of crypto that is underwater.
Yeah, I thought about
And
that the other day. Think of this. Always, always, always. It doesn't matter whether it's money or healthcare or what politics or whatever the case may be. Number one rule: follow the money. If you watch what the big boys are doing, they're not in it to lose money.
And we're doing the same thing. The beauty about these big boys, and you'll learn that if you watch the crypto summit at the White House, like last February or March, is he's unleashed 25 multi-millionaires out to the crypto world to remove all the regulations holding back the market. As soon as he did that, the market started that slide down, and I recognized it right away because I seen them do it in the 2000 crash, the 2008 crash, like when they pushed the bank stocks down to $1 and got all the little guys out, the little people. I don't want to call you everybody little people, but the person who thought that all the banks were going to go out of business. They sold out at $1, and then they rocketed the price to $50 a share, and the whales got richer. And that's what they're doing with the cryptos, and they really got the market really good, because Edward, you hit the nail on the head when you said only 92% of the public's running scared from crypto. And I have proved that also, because I talk about crypto everywhere I go. You can't, if I'm sitting in Quest Diagnostics, where you're in that waiting room waiting for them to take your blood, and nobody's talking, I can't sit in a quiet room. So I said, hey, who wants to talk crypto? And right away everybody's like, oh my God, did he say that dirty word, crypto? And nobody wants to talk about it. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Everyone's afraid of crypto. You know, um, last time I did it, everybody started laughing, and I laughed along with them like it's all a joke. And I'm like, wow, this is not a joke. This is our life. This is it. This is the big one. The internet revolution's gone. The tech revolution's gone. If you miss those, the banking revolution gone. All that stuff is gone. It's in the past. Forget about it. This one is going to be 10 times bigger than all three of those combined. This is changing the world money, man, the world financial systems, and it's worldwide, and nobody can stop it. And these coins are going lower and lower. That's because the whales are loading up at the bottom, and so are we.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, there's
anyway,
only one reason on the planet that people would not consider owning a trader and making it work for them. You know what the one reason is? They're not interested in making money in their life better.
well, they're not. They don't want to make money in their lifetime. Well, they're not looking. Some people are thinking money is day to day. You have it in your hand, spend it today. I don't know. I'm a planner. I like to know that I'm going to be able to pay my bills at the end of the month.
I think you're probably almost there.
All right. I got enough to spend. I couldn't spend all my money in a lifetime. Why do you think the market, another note I took here, why do you think the market is getting ready to rocket up? Okay, so that's a question. Why do they think that? Everybody seems to think that we have this, what did you call it again, Attila? The
Alt
alt
What?
season. Alt
alt
season.
All right.
Altcoin season. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. See, I don't relate to the auto trader that way. I mean, it's nice to have to think about it, to think, all right, tomorrow's the big day, or it's coming in the next few weeks. I don't worry about that at all, because I already know. I look at the market differently. I say these coins are sitting 90% lower right now than they were 4 years ago. They're sitting at the bottom. Forget about Bitcoin, that's the only exception. These coins are 90% lower than where they were 4 years ago. And the whales have been loading up like crazy. Now, we made good money. We've made, I made like 100% a year for the last 4 years on the wiggles while the coins are going up, down, buy, sell, even though it was on a long-term downtrend. And So that's all I think about. And so I know I'm sitting on a fortune, because that means if the coins are 90% lower, my auto trader has been loading up, building inventory. Each finger is one buy. Buy, 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 buy on 3% drops. So that whole range from the top to the bottom, I've got all this inventory. So if a coin jumps 30%, 3 of these disappear. Well, 30%,
10
yeah,
of them.
10 of these, because I'm on 3% drops. So 10 of these lots disappear all at once. Boom, gone, all that profit. So they can never have good up days without me taking a lot of money off the table. That's why I'm saying a well-seasoned auto trader has a lot of inventory. And that's why when someone said, hey, I'm going to get started in October, I'm like, no, get started now, especially on these down days, because you need your auto trader to start building inventory. Don't just jump in when the market starts heading up, because then you have one lot. So it makes a 30% jump. Yeah, you made a little bit of money, or you made good money on that one lot. But wouldn't it be nice if you could make money on a whole bunch of lots at once? How about 10 30% moves at once, even though only one 30% move occurred? So anyways, that's the idea there. So I don't worry about why the market's going to go up. I understand that everyone's talking about alt season and all that, and that's fine. That's great, but I know that if the market goes up, I'm going to make a fortune, because because my auto trader has already planned for that. And if the market doesn't jump right away, these coins aren't going anywhere. You're still sitting in them. For the rest of my life, that crypto market can never make a move. Whenever it makes a move, if it tries to go up 50% or double 100%, and a lot of these coins do that in a couple days, I know my auto trader is going to clean up. Is going to have all that inventory to sell. So whether I personally know when it's going to go up or down is irrelevant. It's when it actually goes up or down that the software is going to act. So I don't have to worry about it. And the last thing I wrote is, why only Coinbase and Kraken? Why not a bunch of other exchanges? Well, there are a lot of foreign exchanges that have gone under. So it scared me right from the beginning, all the way back when I first automated the crypto market in 21. I'm thinking, wow, man, I can't just throw my money in some company that might just disappear and steal everything I have. So then when Coinbase, I did my research and I found Coinbase, and I said, wow, well, they're a publicly traded company. They're US based. Kraken is US based. Coinbase literally trades on the stock market. They're over $300 a share. I keep my eye on that price, by the way, because I kind of feel like, as long as Coinbase stock is holding its own. Let me take a quick look at what it's doing today, real fast.
Hey, interesting question. Can you trade Coinbase in the trader? You can actually.
In the stock trader, you could, yes, but not in the crypto trader. Obviously, it's not a coin. But Coinbase is COIN is their stock symbol, and they're at $323 a share. So I feel good. They're holding their own. They're not plummeting. It tells me. So, anytime I see the market go down, I quickly look or if I see the prices of the coins go lower, I quickly go to the internet and I type in crypto news. And I want to read the news and see is there negative news? And there really isn't. There isn't any negative news on the crypto market. So I'm like, there's no reason for these coins to be going lower. Like a couple days ago, even Bitcoin went from 115 to 111 in like, I don't know, was it instant? Because in the stock market, stocks move around like this. Their prices move around. The crypto market, coins jump around. The prices jump up and down. That's gold to an auto trader, by the way, because you're looking for a 3% gain. If it's the stock market, you're going to wait for it to go up 3%. In the crypto market, that coin can jump up 50% instantly. Boom! The auto trader sells it 50% higher. And then it can instantly go right back down. And L3, that's a coin, it did that 3 weeks ago. It actually went up 50% in the middle of the day, and then a few minutes later it dropped 50%. What's nice is the coin price was still the same in the beginning of the day as it ended the day, but when it went up like that, my auto trader took all that, I call it free money. So it just sold a whole buttload of all that actually it sold every share of L3 that it owned. It sold it all off 50% higher, and then it dropped down. I mean, the crypto market has so many advantages over the stock market. It's just mind-boggling. But a lot of people do stock trading, and we also work with TradeStation for if you're a stock trader, if you want to
Yep.
run an auto trader.
You got all your questions out of your
I got my questions all
1.0,
answered that I wrote down.
your Apple iPad. Attila, do you mind if I make a comment?
Yeah.
Let me share with you, as I shared in the beginning, I asked folks to be feel free, as long as they're professional and kind, to share in the chat, because those are our biggest advocates, because this is fact center, as I said at the beginning. We're not interested in spinning stuff to sell you something. We're simply showing you an elite way that doesn't exist anywhere else, how you might improve, right? But I'm going to share something, and I apologize if I butcher your name. If it's Galia or Galia, my apologies. And you can say one or two, right? But she writes, listen to this carefully, because literally this hits me in the heart. When I first got into crypto, I didn't have a clue as what I was doing and lost a lot. However, I learned a lot too. Enough to know that what I was doing was gambling. I also learned enough to know that Go Baby Trade is the smartest financial decision that I've ever made. I no longer have knots in my stomach and losing sleep. I bought the license and invested almost 5 months ago, and I am averaging 50 to 60% annualized. I am so thrilled with Go Baby Trade. Thank you so much, Ed Barsano. I know I now have hope for retirement.
Bravo.
That's why we're here. Thank you for sharing that. And a lot of people
Awesome.
that are trader owners feel that same way. And I know it's counterintuitive, but I told you everything that you've been taught and been exposed to in the financial world is a scam against you. This gentleman, Mr. Barsano, is the only one and said, what did you say when they kicked your butt in the stock market?
Back in 2000?
Yeah.
Said you picked on the wrong person. I'm bored.
No.
I was already retired. I was already retired for 5 years, and I retired before I was 40, which was crazy after I left Microsoft. And I was bored to death.
But the pinpoint,
when that market crashed, I was reborn.
Well, you were not only reborn, but it gave us all, because if you weren't getting your ass kicked, then we wouldn't be sitting here talking about how great this thing is, and Miss Yates wouldn't have had the opportunity to make that comment. But what I was getting to is, you said, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to prove it's just numbers going up and down. I don't know who you is, but I'm going to conquer the market. And you did in the stock market. Now you've done it.
I said a lot of stuff.
You said a lot of stuff, but a lot of it.
This is a family channel. This is a family channel.
This is a family channel.
But I was ticked off in 2000 when that market crashed and they robbed 60% of my wealth. Millions of dollars disappeared. I said, you picked on the wrong person, baby. Now I got a mission for life. I'm going to automate this market, and I'm going to prove it's just numbers going up and down. Well, and that's what I've been doing for 25 years. And I like to repeat what TD Ameritrade said when they called me in 2006, out of the blue. When I got that phone call, and that guy said, would you connect your robotic traders to us, to our TD Ameritrade accounts, so our clients can use it? My first question is, how do you even know me? I don't advertise. I'm just word of mouth. Clients that have it share it with other people. How do you even know me? And his answer was the most profound answer. I still think it's so profound. He said, you're real. That's great. What an answer. You're real. And I remember my exact response. I said, you're right, I am.
If he could only see you today. As a matter of fact, we keep coming up with.
Oh, he does. He does.
Oh,
I
good,
still
good,
I
good.
still talk to him. Yeah,
Oh,
he's the
that's
CEO of another company now.
there. You go.
Yeah.
That's evolution for you. Yeah, we keep coming up with, or I keep, me and all the other people in my head keep coming up with slogans that we're going to put on T-shirts attributed to you. And the one that just popped in my head is, "I'm glad I got my ass kicked."
Yeah, you learn a lot, and
Yep.
and I just, well, when you're being robbed, when it's obvious.
Look at the way everything. And let's not get it too far into politics, but
Well, I
back
mean,
into
if you
stuff that
walk
I've
into a
done.
store and you hand somebody a $20 bill to pay for something, and he gives you change for a 10. That's happened to me twice in my life. And I mean, and then the first time it happened, I opened up my wallet and I said, "Look, I just came from a cash machine. All I have in my wallet is 20. So how did I give you a 10?"
Right.
You know?
Well, it's much more subversive than that. The story, and I won't take it too far down the rabbit hole because everybody wants to see the trader and how it got to be as proficient
Yeah.
as it is. But I'll tell you a little bit about the messages are so subversive that you don't know it. I mean, but look at taxes. I mean, you make $1, you got to you pay FICA, SUDA, FUTA, blah 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 blah. What the FICA, right? And then you end up with a lot less money in your pocket because you probably paid on average 35 to 38% in taxes for whatever it's wasted on. And then you go to the store and you buy something, and what do you pay? Sales tax. You buy a house, you pay real estate tax.
Well,
Right? You buy something
theoretically,
else.
all those taxes are going to different things.
Well, but I don't care what they're going to.
I
They're
know.
coming out of your pocket.
Yeah, well, the whole system is designed to just keep you where you're at
Ding, ding, ding.
and while the wealthy get richer,
Right. Until
and that's
now.
it. So
Until now.
until now, I mean, anyone that has an auto trader knows, yeah. I mean, people are going crazy, trying to figure out where to find more money to put in their auto trader because it's like the ultimate savings account.
Yep.
It's the place where you can just park your money and watch it grow without you doing anything. It's not
All
like
right.
it just sit in a savings account somewhere where it's just literally sitting.
Oh, you mean in the national bank of somebody that's not you, where you put your money in, they pay you 0.01% on your money, and then lo and behold, what do you pull out of your pocket? You pull out the thing that they send you. Here's a new credit card. It's only 39%, right?
Yeah,
To lend you
39%
your own money
interest.
back.
I
You
say
mean
give
that
me a
part of the
cut of
scam?
that. I should get a cut of that.
I should get a
You
cut of
know?
it too. Why don't we put together a legislature to get a cut of that? All right, we've waxed eloquently with our views for about an hour now. Why don't
So
you
you want
bring
me
up
to
your
share?
bring up the bucket in the well because it's so profound how
All right.
easy conceptually it is.
Let me see. I gotta hide this floating meeting controls. All right.
There you go.
This bucket in a well is something I was teaching a class in North Carolina on how to use AI in their trader, how to program AI. So I was teaching this class to 80 people, 80 programmers. And I saw a whiteboard, and I'm a magnet to a whiteboard, of course. Who could walk up to a whiteboard? Who could see a whiteboard and not want to go to it, right? So I was just curious of where all their heads were at. I just drew a picture of a bucket in a well. It wasn't this pretty, but you could tell it was a bucket in a well. And I said to the audience, I said, if a bucket goes from the top to the bottom to get water and goes all the way back up and dumps it out, and then repeats that. See, this isn't trickery here that I'm talking about. I'm just talking reality. The bucket goes all the way down, gets the water, goes all the way back up, and dumps it out. And if it repeats that forever, how much water will it pump in a lifetime? And, obviously, a bunch of engineers in there, they came up with, well, how big is the bucket and how much water's in the water basin? And I said, well, assume the bucket's amply big and the water's never going to run out at the bottom. How much water will it pump if it just does that? And you can't stop the bucket from going down halfway and then go back up and there won't be any water in it. It has to go to the bottom. and they go all the way back up to dump it out. And so then they started throwing out numbers like 1 million gallons, 1 billion gallons, 1 trillion gallons. And I'm looking around the room while these numbers are being thrown at me, and I'm like, nobody's disputing anything here. I'm like, great. Let's talk about the crypto market then. I said, well, what if it's the crypto market and it doesn't have to go all the way down to buy, and it doesn't have to go all the way up to sell, and it just keeps buying and selling? And no matter where it goes, even if it goes lower, hold that one. Forget about that one right now. We're going to follow the money wherever it goes. So even if it goes lower, just keep pumping money here. We'll keep pumping money here forever. The same amount of money that it's going to pump up here, the profit I'm going to make here is the same amount I'm going to get when it's here, when it's down at the bottom. I'm going to get the same amount per trade. So how much money can that pump? And boy, you know, all their minds were just like, what? and and so the room, nobody knew what number to throw out. So then all I heard is one guy, he goes, there's no way that could be real. I love it. Because there's no way that is not real, folks. That is real. And that's what the auto trader is doing. So, you know, so get this thought out of your head. I mean, it's literally free money. It's free money. I don't know what else to call it. I call the crypto market an insult to humanity. It's just free money. The problem where most people get confused is, or get discouraged, is if you're sitting on this negative inventory up here, you feel like I'm underwater on that negative inventory because I'm sitting on what you might call losers because it went lower. But it's like, it doesn't matter where the price goes, because I don't care if the coin's down 90%. I'm going to keep pumping money here for the rest of my life. And then because I said a well-seasoned auto trader has a lot of inventory. So take these, say these are 3% apart. 3, 6, 9%. So say the coin jumps up 10%. I'm going to sell all 3 of these off and take all that profit. This one's going to be up 10%. This one's going to be up 7%. This one's going to be up 4%. And you're going to sell them all off. All these, all profitably at one time. I've seen coins go up 60% in one day and then another 100% the next day. I've seen coins go up. Alchemy Pay went January 27th. You could write down that date and go look at it on CoinMarketCap. From January 27th to February 1st, which is about 4 or 5 days, it jumped from 2.2 cents to 5.6 cents. That's over 100. That's 150% return in 4 days. How beautiful is that? Think of all that inventory you just sold off profitably. And my auto trader actually did do that. So let's look at the auto trader that I'm talking about here. Right here, this one here started with 200,000. If I start from the top, the live trader, it's up to 900,000. You know, and the total profits taken is 957. I've actually, you know, it started with 200 on 8/25. No, that's 30. No, 12/19/21, right when the crypto crash started. Because the crypto market started, that crypto winter, I call it, in October of 21. So, you know, when I first started, I would have thought I was getting killed. I'm like, man, I mean, I remember what I was saying. It's like I just released a robotic trader to the public and the market's crashing. Am I this unlucky? You know, because I don't know how the public's going to feel about coins going down, even though I know the auto trader is going to build this beautiful inventory that's going to be spread the whole way, which is gold in the long run. In a lifetime, you're fine. You're going to be taking huge profits constantly on every time they try to do a big move in a coin. You're going to clean up. But I was wondering if the public could handle it. But it didn't take that long because people started calling me 1 year later in like January of 23, because we basically started at the end of 21. So a year later, people started calling me saying, "Hey Ed, look at my closed positions. That's over here." And what we discovered was our closed positions of the profits we took off the table were actually higher than the open positions that were underwater. So basically the auto trader proved my point, is that if you just keep taking profits forever, the profits have to go somewhere. And if I'm saving them all, which is my current profit save bucket down here on the lower left, all these profits that I've taken off the table are just going to keep going higher and higher forever. So the inventory of the positions you're sitting on, that's just a number going up and down as the market goes up, as the coin price goes up and down. So if the coin price goes higher, then your negative amount goes lower. But every time you take profits, it goes over into your profit bucket, and the profit bucket never goes down because we never sell at a loss. So it's like throwing marbles in a jar. Just keep throwing marbles in there and watch that jar fill up. Someday somebody's going to get a jar, a jelly jar, and do that test like I just said. Because I know when I'm talking about smart water, someone came on and said, I just bought a case of smart water, which is cool.
So let me summarize for a second. So the people that have not seen this picture, but let me make this make sense.
Hey, excuse
Less
me.
than four.
You mean the way I explained it didn't make sense?
No. This is an
It
everyday
is good
life
to
for
have
you.
another perspective.
This is an everyday life for you. So like I said before, you've made making money boring, but people want to be bored. So let me bore you with something. You started this less than 4 years ago. As a matter of fact, 4 months from now, it'll be 4 years.
Yes.
4 months, right? You started with $200,000. It's taken $957,000 in profit in a 90% plus down market. Okay. So when you just go, oh, yeah, this I made $1 million and it, right. I just want to make sure that everybody gets that mental snapshot. So in a little bit over 3.5 years, you have 5 extra money in your sleep. Now, it didn't happen all at once. It didn't make what
No.
you're saying now. It didn't.
No, that's what I
900.
pointed out. But
Right?
that's what I pointed out to Attila. Is I didn't take $957,000 all at once. I took $162,000 or $162, $159. And it was funny because it was on the 10th. I think it was August 10th when I was telling you this. Was it the 10th? August 10th? No, maybe it was July 10th. Was it that long ago?
What was that?
When we were talking about it, I said, "Yeah, look, I took
Oh
$13.
yeah.
I took $13. I even took $9.93."
Right.
Basically, the auto trader says to the market, "How much money you want to give me? You want to give me $541? I'll take it. You want to give me $144? I'll take that." I'm not here to dictate to the market. The market tells me what it wants to give me, and the software takes it. The software has AI built in. So when it's getting ready to make a trade, if the AI interferes with the trade, like the AI might say, "Don't buy that coin yet. The price is going to go lower in the next few minutes." So that's when it puts an AI after it. Otherwise, like you could have added to declining position here without an AI at the end of it, at the end of the description. If it has an AI at the end, that means the AI said, "Hold on, don't take that trade yet. It's going to go lower." And and I can go down and find, if the price is going higher, you see the auto trader says, "I want to take profit," but then the AI says, "Hold on, don't take that profit yet. The price is going to go higher in the next few minutes." AI cannot tell you what a coin is going to do tomorrow. If you had an indicator that told you that, you'd be the richest person on the planet. The fact is, it doesn't exist. The AI in case you don't, just to explain what AI is, artificial intelligence, it's pattern recognition. And when it's looking at the current environment, 27 indicators, stochastics, MACD, relative strength index, all those indicators from the technical analysis from A to Z book. You can buy that on eBay, by the way, for a few bucks. Technical analysis from A to Z, that's what it's called. And those are all put in the AI, and the AI does pattern recognition. It's looked at millions of permutations. So it knows, it says, I've seen that pattern and 1,000 times, and 97% of the time the price goes higher in the next few minutes when it sees it. That's all really AI is. It's pattern recognition. And so if the AI says I'm 97% sure it's going to go higher in the next few minutes, the software says, okay, I'll wait. I won't take the profit yet. I'll wait. But the auto trader is going to keep calling the AI. The AI is like a separate program from the AI. It's not, the AI is not in the auto trader. The auto trader is calling another program that is the AI. AI is way too big to put in your auto trader. You couldn't run that on your computer at home. The AI, it's way too big. That's got to be on multiple servers running AI. So the AI says, hold on, don't take the profit yet. It looks like it's going to go higher. So the auto trader keeps calling the AI and says, are you sure it's going to go higher now? Is it going to go higher now? Is it going to go higher now? Eventually, the coin might go up a little bit, and then it calls the AI, and the AI says, no, I don't think it's going to go higher now. Okay, then the software takes the profit. Anytime the software is ready to take the profit and the AI doesn't say it's going to go higher, it just takes it. So we don't put AI after it. But if you look at how the trader runs, it's like a 7-Eleven. You see these down here are buys. You can see over here on the left it says open, and then the ones above that have a number next to them, closed profit, P&L, or profit loss, those are closes. And you can see how it runs. It's if you think of it like a 7-Eleven, you're putting product on the shelf and then you're selling it. And if you just go forward all the way from there, you just scroll through, you can see putting product on the shelf and selling it off. And then you're having some days where you're selling a lot of inventory. You're just selling a whole bunch, all these closes. It's a beautiful update, all different symbols you can see on the left, and you're just scrolling through and you can see it's filling the shelf and then selling it off, filling the shelf and then selling it off. You're just constantly turning inventory. See, I didn't invent commerce. Commerce has been going on for thousands of years. Everybody knows you buy something at one. If I'm a store, I purchase product at one price and I sell it at a higher price. I didn't invent the wheel. I just said, hey, I'm going to do what e-commerce or commerce does forever. I'm going to buy product, coins at a price, and I'm going to sell them at a higher price. I'm going to run it like a 7-Eleven. That's why, people want the market to go up, 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 up. You don't want that because you don't have any inventory. What happens if I sell off all my inventory? And you can see some sloppy days where the market's just going up and down, up and down. You're buying and selling one at a time. And sometimes the market takes off and you sell a whole bunch at once, straight in a row. It's just the market's going straight up. And then sometimes the market's going straight down. So you're loading up, at those prices. So this is just a constant for the rest of your life. It's the bucket in the well going up and down, up and down, up and down. I try to explain it different ways. Sometimes I talk about the bucket in the well. Sometimes I talk about a 7-Eleven. You're just constantly putting product on the shelf. When I go to a store, I look at stuff when I walk in a store. If you go into a 7-Eleven, and I want some of you to do it, next time you're in a 7-Eleven or a Quick Mart or a Circle K or whatever they're called, look at what the people are buying. Just look up where they're checking out. Look at what they're buying. They're buying the fast-moving items. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I have a report that actually shows you the coins that move the most. So if you were opening a 7-Eleven for the first time, I've never opened one, but I imagine you're going to sit down with the distributor, the person that's going to be bringing your stuff that you're going to put on your shelves. You're going to sit down with the distributor, and he's going to show you a report of the best moving items. At the top of the report is going to be your monster drinks. I'm just guessing here, but I can imagine that's how it would be. If I was opening a store, I'd want the best moving items. I want monster drinks, potato chips, candy bars. What are those things you smoke?
Vapes.
Vapes. I see a lot of people buying vapes. I remember one time I was in a line and everybody in front of me was buying those things. I didn't even know what they were. When I got up there, I said, "What the heck are these things that everybody's buying?" And he told me they're vapes. I'm like, I never even heard of that, you know? I mean, a vape, they're vaping. I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know what it was. Is it candy? I mean, like, what are they buying? Because like 5 people in a row were buying. I could see they were buying it. You know, I'm a nosy person. I look at what other people are doing. Anyways, you know, I want the top moving items. If I'm running that store, I doubt you're going to find iodine in my 7-Eleven or Lysol. I'm not putting that junk on my shelf. I'm not going to sell any of it. Nobody's going to buy that stuff at a 7-Eleven. You know, I mean, I'm not Home Depot, you know. So, you know, I'm just saying you're going to want the best moving items. And that's where we have another report where we could talk about it. We can go to that when Edward says it's time. Right now, we're sitting on this is what your robotic trader looks like. This is what you're going to see on your screen. This is actually just a website, it's a web page. Your actual trader is running on my servers. That's the difference between my old software, which the old software was downloadable software at the time, and it ran on your computer, and people used to complain that it's this I can't even open my email when this program's running because the program is so big. It's just eating up all the computing resources, you know. And then Edward or Attila talks about it took an hour for him to download the program. Back in 2001, people were on dial-up modems. And believe me, it took an hour to download that program. It was a big program, you know, and it had AI in it also, you know, the early stages. Now it all runs on my servers. I've got racks of servers, and I brought it all in-house. That's why I sold the company in 2017 or 2018, the old company, and I rewrote the software. And I did put on there when I was selling it that I will be competing with you if you're going to compete. Okay, because I'm going to rewrite this software and I'm going to go web-based. It's not going to be downloadable anymore. It's going to run on my servers. That way, when it's running on my servers, you don't have to worry about every day, is your computer on? Is the internet working? You know, and are you getting all the updates that I'm making? Because I'm always updating the software, improving the software to make it better and better. And so it's all runs on my servers. I looked over there because I can just picture, you know, I know when I walk into the co-location center, I'm going down this aisle and all the racks of servers are to my left. That's why I look like that. I said, there's my racks of servers, you know, with all those servers in each rack. And I'm always adding more servers. I just did that. I added more servers yesterday. I drove,
Hey, Ed.
5-hour drive. It's a 5-hour drive to the co-location center.
Hey, Ed,
Yes,
since you're on this screen, do you mind answering a quick question from somebody that you could show right on this screen?
sure.
Uh, Jason asked, the trader that Edward showed had a profit, but that did not add up from the P&L for each coin. Can you explain your P&Ls, how the open position, the closed P&L
If you
position?
well, it's because when you're talking about this profit is the same as if you add all this up, it's in your it's in your total profits. Now my current profits, I live off mine, so I take a lot of money out of this account. I live off this money. And so I'm always living off reducing. You know, I have a Coinbase Visa card. Every time I use it, I say the card that keeps on giving because I never make a payment. It takes it right out of my USDC. I'm running the same trader that Edward is running. I'm not sure we have the same coins. I
No, we
started,
don't. No,
all
all
right.
different coins.
I
Uh,
took the top, I took the top coins, the top 5 coins from the highest trade. This is the $1 billion report. You see these 5 coins right here? I started trading. I started an auto trader, and I took the same coins, the top 5, without even thinking about it 6
Right.
weeks ago. And basically, I threw 150,000 in, and it went all the way to 160, but then came back down. Remember what I said? When the market's getting ready to take off, like I can feel it's getting ready to take off because we're getting these big crashes in the market, multiple days in a row, and where the coins are going lower and lower. And I know the whales are loading up like crazy at the bottom of that, and so are we. And that's why I try to, I tell people don't panic. Don't, I see people trying to sell the stuff off at a loss, and I'm like, don't do that, because this market's getting ready to rumble. And that's what
Yeah,
they
during that time though, but you still took $6,500 in profit, right?
Right.
I
And
think
this
Jason
negative,
sorted.
you see, and that's the thing. It's even though I've taken 6,500 in profit, I'm still back to my 150,000. Why is that? Because of the negative inventory, the open positions that went negative, that are negative. So if I've
Yeah,
taken
Jason.
1,300 in profit, see this number here can only get lower if the price keeps going lower. And they push these down. These coins are already down 90% from where they were a few years ago. They push these coins down as hard as they can. And this all happened in the last few months, by the way. I mean, they were like in this last account, in my first account, this big account. This account hit a mil 200,000 or even higher a few months ago, and everything was all net positive. And then the negative inventory started coming in because they just kept pushing them down, down, down really hard. They're pushing them down, and the little guy, and I don't want to call him a little guy. I hate to say it like that, but the small people with smaller accounts, or the people panicking and selling off because they're afraid that the market's going lower and they want to sell off. They're selling off, and who do you think they're selling to while they're busy dumping all their shares? The whales are loading up for pennies on the dollar, and so are we. So I started this account 6 weeks ago, or what is it? July 29th. Um,
8 weeks ago, but you did essentially the same thing I did. You leveraged the billion
I
dollar.
grabbed the top 5 coins, right? And I
Right.
just said, give me the top 5. And I was all the way up to 160,000, and then it dropped that whole 10,000 in the last month and a half. The market just started tanking. And I'm like, hey, this is great. If you like something at $10, you gotta love it at 1. All right? Because these are real companies. Each of these companies, these top 5 companies, if I look at the highest trade count report, look what they are. Utility. Utility means a real company with a real product. Okay? Someone once mentioned to me, they said, yeah, but these are like penny stocks because they're so low. I said, no, the difference between these coins and a penny stock is these are multi-million-dollar companies that are real, that just happen to be selling for a ridiculously low price. These coins should be sitting at $20 a share. Instead, they're sitting at this one here, a penny, just about a penny. What an insult to humanity. What an opportunity, I should say, for us. Because the whales are loading up on these coins. And these are the top moving coins. Remember what I said. This is a month, if you wanted to call, if I was running a 7-Eleven, these are the top moving coins. You can see the previous year's close trades. You can see the top moving coins are the ones that move the most. See that 1,023 trades, 958 trades in a year, excuse me. If I go to the bottom, you got here's 17 trades in a year, 21 trades in a year, 81 trades in a year. Junk. Do I really want to? This is, if I was selling Lysol, that's what this would be. Lysol, iodine, Band-Aids, yeah, you could find Band-Aids at a 7-Eleven if you look hard enough.
Yeah, let
They
me make a clarification as well. the numbers go all the way back to the top. I said before at the very beginning, this trader is programmed to never sell at a loss. Everything that you see here in these trades are
These are
profitable closed trades.
Yeah, these
Profitable
are
closed
profitable
trades.
closed trades. And you can see what happened after the crypto summit. You see what the numbers look like before the crypto summit in February? 378 trades in a month, in 1 month last January, 185 trades last February. Down here, 242 trades, 145 trades. You know, these numbers were much bigger. Look at this one here, 96 trades, 68 trades, and then look at how they started dropping. 16 trades, 20 trades, 6 trades, 3 trades. Then they tried to spike it. And when they tried to spike it in July, they tried to push the price up sharply. The auto trader, of course, took advantage of that and just sells all that inventory off. You know, when they start moving the coin a lot, we clean up. And then it went back down again, you know, for August. And September's, you know, we produce this report once a month. So it only goes up to August. But in October 1st, or the first few days of October, you'll see the report. The September report's going to show pathetic numbers here in this first column also for September. And it's because they've been pushing these coins lower and lower and lower, you know, and the whales are loading up because the little guy, again, the guy that is panicking, because I get phone calls from people and they say the little guy is selling off, because I get phone calls from people. You know, I talk to a lot of you every day. I talk to a few people a day. Um, they'll say, I want to, you know, these coins are going lower. I want to stop my auto trader from buying. And I'm like, I wouldn't do that. You know, I mean, you can do it if you want. But you see this, when a coin's dropping like this, get ready. There's a rumble getting ready to go happen. And now if the price went back up to here, this is XRP. So in the last few days, the XRP's been running. Anything I bought down here, you'd have sold off already anyways, profitably. When you get a crazy drop like this one over here, where it just spikes straight down, you know, whatever you buy down here at the bottom, you're just going to sell it off on a little bounce. And each one of these little bounces, you know, drops and then rises. You get a sharp down here, and then you got a sharp rise again. Anything you bought at the bottom, you sold off already here. But this, if the price goes to here, anything you had, any inventory you were sitting on at a lower price, already sold off. You don't own any of these shares at all. I say the biggest money you're going to make is from the stuff at the bottom. This is where the rich get richer, because they're loading up at the bottom. Whereas the average guy wants to load up at the top. They want to buy, they want to look at charts, and really, you don't understand, the stuff you're looking at is today's ecosystem. You're saying, oh, the market looks great today. Let me put all my money in. No. Because then you're all in at the top, and then when the coins drop down here, you don't have any money to trade down here. And that's why I don't own any silver dollars. You know, I don't have drawers full of silver dollars. I know I've talked to other people that said they got toolboxes full of silver dollars. And I'm like, yeah, in the last few months, silver ran. You know, but for the last 25 years, it didn't run. However, you would have been, if you weren't trading, then you're missing thousands of trades that you could have been making. You could have been getting your 100% a year just by trading, regardless of where the price went. It doesn't matter if the price goes higher or lower. It's just keep turning inventory. When you have a 7-Eleven, you're not worried about, is the inventory in the store appreciating in value? You're interested in putting it on the shelf and selling it off the same day. If you owned a 7-Eleven, you wouldn't fill up the shelves and then lock the door and not let customers in and say, I'm going to wait until the food or all these products, whatever I have in there, appreciates in value. No, you want to turn inventory. It's all about how much can I make? Turning inventory, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. That's where the money is, not just buying something and sitting on it. Okay, and
Yeah.
that's what the auto trader does.
Would you, do you have open the, people always ask, it always comes up in the questions, and we've not looked at the questions yet, but people always ask, what kind of returns, and we can't do that. It's all market. We can't tell you anything because it's all market driven, but we can show you a report. There you go. You read my mind. This is a
Yeah, well,
one-year
you said
report.
it. Yeah, I wasn't reading your mind. You said it. You
I
said, for
did. Okay.
instance, how much am I making? You can
Right.
look at what other people are making, have made. If this looks 12 months back, this is a 1-year report. That's why, we don't, this isn't a monthly subscription software where you're just buying something, play with it a little while, and then throw it away. Okay? This is a life trader. It's going to prepare you for life. And the crypto market will never, ever be able to ever go back up without you cleaning up. That's why Trump knows his $7 billion worth of crypto is going to turn into 70 billion. He knows what he's doing. And he's so that's what's going to happen. So it's all about turning inventory and watch how much, and it's really up to the market moves. This person started 1 year with $3,178 and took $15,000 of profits off the table. That's a 477% return. You notice I didn't put ending balance because the ending balance is not relevant, because that's just based on inventory that he might be sitting on. It's also based on, did he throw more money in and it's just sitting in there? I don't want to look at that. This is real numbers, real profits, actual money that you put in your hand that you can go out and buy a new car with or go out shopping with. Like I said, I have a Coinbase Visa card in my wallet. Every time I use it, I think to myself, just when I scan it, the card that keeps on giving. I never have to make a payment. It takes it right out of my USDC. It's a debit card, right out of my account. And my account throws money in. I can't spend the money that it makes. Like this one here took $5,441. That's a live trader. Took $5,441 off the table in profits in the last 30 days. If I look at my other trader, the one I started 6 weeks ago, it's already taken almost 4,000. These are just top coins, the top moving coins, so they moved a lot. So it's taken almost $4,000 of profits. I can't spend that much at Trader Joe's. I mean, one day I spend $282. The next time I go in there, I spend $109. It doesn't add up, to that kind of money. So I can't even spend the amount of money that these auto traders are just giving me for free.
Ed, what do we haven't said yet, but what does the trader eat for breakfast?
Volatility.
Thank you.
There you go.
It eats volatility because every time they jump these prices around like that, it's like, thanks for the free money. If you gap down, I'm going to buy more at a much lower price. I wanted to add on 3% drops, but instead you let me add on a 12% drop. Thanks. Or if you gapped up, I wanted to sell it at a 3% profit. Instead, you let me sell it at a 20% profit. Thanks again. I call it thanks for the free money. Either way, I've got the market trapped and there's nothing they can do to stop it. There's nothing anybody can do to stop it. I'm not violating any laws. Even though it feels crazy, but I've been doing this 25 years, so I've really cornered the market. I've got them trapped, and there's nothing they can do to stop me. I'm not violating any laws.
Fast
Even though
Eddie,
it
Fast
feels
Eddie
weird.
Barsano.
What's that?
Fast Eddie Barsano, Bar Sinister, right?
I mean, I'm not doing anything illegal, all right? I'm buying something at one price and selling it at a higher price. Nobody can tell me that's
It's
illegal.
too logical. Has anybody ever taught that to you in school? Oh, well, you just got a business lesson in 2 sentences. So,
No, what they teach you in a trading school is if a coin drops 3%, sell it at a loss. You're
stop
dead.
loss. Yeah,
You start
stop
doing
loss.
that stuff, you're dead. And if
Yep.
you start floating orders at the market, market orders at the exchange, telling them if the price goes here, I want to sell it, or if the price goes down here, I want to buy more. If you put that publicly at the market, all the professional traders out there are taking advantage of you because they don't know how to trade any other way. There's only one way they trade. They look at the orders that are sitting out there at the exchanges. They look at those orders, and if you're selling it here, they're going to sell it right under you, theirs. and take profit. And they're going to keep buying and selling down here, and they're not going to let it hit your target price. Have you ever noticed that? And some of you, if you think about it, have you ever noticed a coin price or a stock price will almost hit your target price that you put out there, but it won't quite hit it, and it'll turn around and go the other way? It's because they dried up all the buyers. Nobody's going to buy it up here, or if they can buy it here. So they're just drying up all the buyers, and they're just messing with you. So you're trying to sell it, and you can't. And that's called the level 2 screen. If you look at the L2 on here, you don't have it in your trader, but there's a lot. These are actual orders sitting at the exchange. That's what this level 2 screen is. And you can see some of these orders are real small. Like, I don't know, there's 4,000 shares. Say you wanted to buy something, 10,000 shares. Well, this guy's only offering that price up for 4,000 shares. So it has to uptick to the next price to fill up your whole 10,000 shares. So that's why sometimes you can't look at the current price on the screen and think that that's a real price. I've actually had people send me email and say, "How come my auto trader won't sell or something when it reaches the price?" It's like, because it didn't really reach that price. If you look at the level 2, you're trying to sell 10,000 shares. Look at this one here. Look at how fake this is. 55 shares. You think that's real? 55 shares. They throw fake orders out there and jerk with you. So
To manipulate the
think
price.
they're manipulating the price. They're making you think you can actually buy 10,000 shares at this price. No, you can only, at this price, you can only buy 55 shares. At the next higher price, you can still only buy 64 shares. Until, if I want to buy 10,000 shares, the price I'm going to pay is all the way up here. A much higher price than down here. 3178 versus 30112.
Proof
So,
positive that the market is structured against you.
yeah, I mean, you don't want to say they're cheating, but kind of they are. It's like you're playing poker and you're showing your cards to everybody. Everybody knows to hide their cards in a poker game. But say you're a little kid and you're in a real poker game, but you're only 3 years old or 6 years old and you don't know any better. Personally, I knew better when I was 5, but others might not know better. You're a little kid and you're showing everybody your cards. And maybe that older player there who knows better is taking advantage of you because he's looking at your cards. And it's not, he knows he's kind of cheating, but he doesn't care. He's just playing with hey, if I'm allowed to see his cards, I'm allowed to see his cards. So I'm going to look at them. Okay.
There's your therapy hour. You just explained the world at large.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking advantage of you because you don't know any better. And they're
That's
not
right.
getting rid of the rules. They're not saying hide those level 2 orders, and level 2 screens. They're allowing the professional traders to take advantage of you. And they're allowing them to put in real low orders to manipulate the prices so that
Yep.
you
Hey,
think the
Ed.
price is one thing,
Yep.
but it really isn't.
Ed, we got a ton of questions. Do you mind taking your jacket off so we could get
Yeah,
into the
usually I
Q&A?
like to take
Yeah.
off my jacket, and
Yeah,
get
rip off the
and get
jacket, rip open your shirt to show us the GBT t-shirts that you got underneath, right?
No, I really rip off my jacket and throw it away when people compare me to the guys talking on CNBC and all that. Those talking heads on TV that never tell you anything that's going to help you really make money.
Yep.
Do it. There's another test you can do. You can just watch CNBC and watch each person talk and tell me if he said anything that helped you make money.
I have the talking heads. All right, gentlemen.
As opposed
Attila,
to an auto
Ed.
trader that just cranks out money.
Attila, Ed. By proxy, I have a question for
I
you.
love a good Q&A.
All right, hold on. Here comes the first curveball. So Jason, thanks for joining us and thanks for the comment. I stuck my screen on one comment because I already answered this question. I want you guys to answer this question. Jason says, besides subscription money, what's in it for your company? Now you want the cheat code? You want
Talking
to
about
know what
me?
I said? I said nothing else but our ability to educate you on a money printing system for you to have a better financial life. This system is counter to everything that you've been taught about the power of money without the restrictions. So
Yeah,
now you guys
Jason.
give an answer.
Yeah, I'll go first. I've been telling Mr. Barsano for years to raise the price. This is way, way too inexpensive because there you could look high and low. And Jason, if you find one that's got a 25-year track record that allows you to earn passive income in your sleep with access to the creator and this kind of support and a one-time fee, and there's no percentage of your profits being taken by the creator, Mr. Barsano. It's the $34.99 license fee, and you're done.
For
So
3 years. You're
yeah,
done
so
for
that
3 years.
yeah, every 3 years. Yeah, so that's my take. Ed, whatever you want to, I mean,
Well, for
you're
starters, this
You're
book.
out of smart water.
No, I got another one here. This is going to be a 2 water bottle webinar,
yeah.
and when this is empty, then we'll end. All right. Well, I retired at 39. Why did I retire at 39? Because I had millions of dollars. Okay. And what do you do when you have millions of dollars? You think you're working for money, don't you? Come on. How many of you out there, based on that question alone, tells me your philosophy of work is that you're working for money? That's
Mm-hmm.
why you're working.
Yep.
Okay.
Go to school, get a job, trade time for money.
All right.
Not
So
now.
I thought that too. That, hey, it's my turn, Edward.
You said.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Shut up.
All right. No, but my my point is though, I thought that too when I was 39. So I quit Microsoft. I mean, you don't quit Microsoft. Nobody quits Microsoft. Where am I going to go? To Bank of America? Where am I going to go to work? I'm already at the #1 company in the world, and I'm flying high, man. I was top of the top dog. I mean, I had so many people working for me. I was in charge of development teams and everything. It was fantastic. I was having so much fun delivering the impossible, getting rewarded millions of dollars worth of crypto, or not crypto, but stock. I mean, it was just like I was flying. However, we were all staggering down the hallways talking to each other like, when do you jump off this fast moving train? We were whispering to each other. When do you leave? When do you quit? How much money do you need? We already have millions. I got over $10 million. What am I sticking around for? I mean, obviously, unless you're, if I'm not, am I working for money? If I'm working for money, they've already given me millions and millions of dollars. I'm done with this planet. And the next question is, are you having fun? Well, I'm having fun, but I am working like a dog too. But it was fun, delivering the impossible, all the time. That's fun. Um, so anyways, I said, well, retire before 40 has a nice ring to it. So I'll retire just before I turn 40. So I quit work because I thought work was for money. See, I'm still answering your question. Um, and but then after I quit, I moved from Washington to Arizona, selling one house, buying another house, and what I didn't realize I was doing is I was creating projects. See, that's what we do, right? We create projects. We create stuff that keep us busy, stuff we want to do, stuff that's exciting. People create things. I don't do things much with my hands. I don't know how to change a light bulb barely. But I do change the air filters in the house, which is amazing. And my wife holds the
You can,
ladder and all because she's afraid I'm going to fall off. It's like,
you
I'm
can
not going
plug
to
in a
fall off
server.
the ladder. I'm not going to fall off a ladder. Anyways. However, I have fallen off ladders, so anyways, I didn't realize how miserable retirement is. All right. Any of you that are already retired, I don't even need to talk to you because you already figured it out yourself. Retirement is for the birds, man. I will die. So when I was retired for 5 years, I was miserable. I mean, you can only go swimming, jogging so much, and And so when the market crashed in 2000, that's when I was reborn. I said, man, you picked on the wrong guy, baby. I'm bored, and now I'm going to automate this market, and I'm going to prove it's just numbers going up and down. So then I sat down on that computer and let's go. And the education began. And everybody started educating me. The people started educating me. All my clients started educating me. And of course, a lot of them were teaching me all the wrong stuff, right? They're teaching me all the stuff that they thought was how to trade the market. So what they wanted to do was they actually wanted to automate losing strategies. So when I automated this losing strategy, then now I got an auto trader automatically losing. So I had to unlearn all that misinformation and throw it all away and tell them, look, I'm not gonna chase indicators. Let the AI handle the pattern recognition, but I'm gonna put all the indicators in the AI. I'm gonna just chase money directly. I'm not gonna let that market breathe without giving me money. And if they want to push it lower, I'm going to punish them because I'm going to buy more lower. Now, what are you going to do, market? You want to go low? You want to keep going lower? Because I'm not Hillary Clinton. Hillary says, when they go low, we go high. Ah, that sounded nice for a politician. But for me, when they go low, I go low. When they go high, I go high. Wherever you put that price, I'm going to buy more at that price. Now, what are you going to do, market? You're going to go lower? I'll go lower. I dare you to go wherever you want to go because the software's doing money management. It already, when it bought in up here, it reserved enough money to take that coin to the bottom. So now, no matter where you go, I can keep taking money. Most people don't trade that way. Most people are what? Buy and holders.
Buy and
They
holders.
buy and they put all their money in up here and then they pray that it's going to go straight up. So when it goes down here, they're dead. They're just sitting around right now. A lot of you may be in that boat. If you jumped in 4 years ago, you're kind of not happy because the coin prices you went in were up here and the price of the coin's down here and you don't own anything in between. So you're missing thousands of trades that you could be making up and down. So when you ask, right away you're asking, what do I do with all this money that's coming in from sales and all that? I'm not even looking at that stuff. I've got so much money. Believe me, that is not it. And all this is not this isn't just a one-man operation. I have a support team. That's salaries, all right? That's hundreds of thousands of dollars going out and auto traders and all those servers and the co-location center, racks of servers and support and just all this. And I do it full time. Why am I doing it full time? You think I sit around looking at my bank account? I couldn't care less about that. What I love is I conquered the market. I did something everyone says can't be done. That's beauty. That feels good. And I'll never stop doing it. And my son's been programming auto traders now for 15 years. He has a biochem degree. He doesn't even use the biochem degree, I don't think. Maybe he's using it in the software because he's a brilliant programmer. And he's a master programmer. So I didn't get that question. It's probably one of the questions. What happens if you die, Ed? And what is my answer always? Like,
It's your complexion.
yeah, that's what I used to ask. I said, what is it, my complexion? Why is everybody always asking me if I'm going to die? People are scaring me. I'm over here taking my blood pressure, getting blood work done. Everything's perfect. And leave it alone, man. I'm in top shape. I go to the doctor's office and I'm looking at all them. They all look like they're ready to die. Are you serious?
Wow.
I'm
All
afraid
right,
to go to
so
the doctor.
Jason,
I'm afraid they might want to kill me. I can't take any of their advice. They look like they're ready to fall out. I mean, last
all
time
right.
I was in a doctor's office, I said, you know what? I want to know how many of you can get out and run 5 miles right now, because I sure can.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you don't go to the doctors and go, hey, who wants to talk about crypto?
Yeah, I do that too. Oh, believe me, we have that discussion.
All right, so Jason, hopefully
So
you have
you're looking at it all wrong. You're looking
Yeah.
at it, Jason, if that's who asked the question. You're
Yeah.
looking at it all wrong. Don't even worry about that. Take advantage of it. Seriously.
No, he was just I think he was really trying to understand why we do this.
Why
Besides,
we do it? We do it because we love it. We do it because we love it.
As I said, it's a true answer. This is a no BS zone. This is all facts. The reason why we're here, do we make money? Yes, we make money. Why wouldn't we? We're teaching you. We have the privilege. We,
I
Attila
make
and I,
money
have the
running my
privilege.
auto traders. I've got millions of dollars sitting in auto traders, man, and they're cranking out money like crazy.
Well, the point is that we truly want to educate as many people as quickly as we can of the power of something that this gentleman was told could never be created and has never since been created. And even if somebody were to manage to create something like this, they're 25 years behind the curve.
Yeah, I was looking for competitors over my shoulder for literally for years with when I had the stock trader from 2001 all the way till now, or until 2020. I was or
Hey, Ed,
21.
we got to
I
get
was
into the
looking over my
questions.
shoulder saying, where are the competitors? I have no competitors. Nobody's doing it. And I'm like, and I was getting, and my traders are getting better and better and better and more profitable and more secure and more better at money management and everything. And I'm like, and I have no competitors. I'm
Right?
like, I'm so
So,
far ahead now that they'll never catch up. And I've seen other companies over the years try to do what I've done, and they don't understand what's under the hood of these auto traders. You know why? Because you can look at the screen, look at the auto trader, and you say, well, I can do that and I can do that. That looks easy. They don't even have any idea what's under the hood that makes it look. I mean, this is just a snapshot of how your account's doing. This isn't the auto trader actually crunching out numbers and every second like the bunny ever ready bunny rabbit and just running and stalking that market. I mean, look at today's trades here. I don't even know. I'm just curious. Here's 4 trades today. All buys. Added to declining preferences, declining position. That means the coin price was going lower. And look at well, look at this. This is cool. XCN at at the price 1036 01036 at 12:23 this morning. That's like midnight, right? Or is that, yeah,
no,
that's
that's
Yeah.
midnight. Yep. And just to clarify, that's Eastern Standard Time all the time.
and then at a higher price, it bought at 1036, it bought more at a higher price. 1104 at 133. It says added to gap. It actually added to gap is an interesting one because you bought it up here, then it said added to decliner down here, and then it said added to gap between those two prices. It added one, which is, I mean, this is the thing. I got the market coming and going, man,
So
because I'm selling
Ed,
positions off at all different
Ed,
prices. They don't know what's going on.
Ed, just for my edification, if it added to the gap, you said there was a gap there. If it added, it had to have a minimum difference between the bottom and where the next position was of at least 6%, right? Because it adds at
It has to be. It can't add, right? It won't add if there's even three. It can't. It's got to be between the high and the low. Yes, it can't. There's got to be a 3% away from any previous buy.
right, right. Okay,
So
good.
That's a
any
good
Good.
way to put it.
position you own, there's got to be at least a 3%. So that means when it added to the decliner, it actually added more than a 3% drop. So that created more than, like you said, a 6% window. And so it was able to add to fill in the gap. So
All
Well,
yeah,
right. So,
that's awesome. Let me say one thing, Edward. You read a really good testimonial 5 minutes ago or
yes.
10 minutes ago. I've got another one from Anthony, and Anthony, we appreciate you so much, buddy. Um, this is great. This trade for anybody that's new here today, please listen carefully. This trader has given me the opportunity to profit from the crypto market's volatility in a consistent and strategic way. It's become the only tool that I use within building a residual income for me and my family. This trader has truly transformed our lives. Thank you to Mr. Barsano, Edward, and Attila for your dedication and selfless commitment. And we thank you for yours because you're here every week, buddy. So thank you.
Yes.
Um,
Thank you. Thank you,
yeah,
Anthony.
awesome stuff. Hey,
yeah.
listen,
But you know, when
we've
you're
got
working and doing something that you love, that's what's important. That transcends money. A lot of people can't do what they love. Some people love fishing,
true.
but you're too busy working every day to go fishing. But if you're
Right.
retired, you can, or if you're, in my case, I'm retired. What do I love doing? I don't like golfing. I don't like fishing. I think it would be fun. I could do both of those. We go out on a boat, drink some beers. I get it. I could see that. But I can't see myself doing it all the time. I went golfing with somebody a few years back, many 20 years ago, I should say. And yeah, it was fun, actually. Um, Bouncing balls off somebody's roof, off their house. No, one time,
Oh, man.
I shot a ball and it went off the course and it hit a house. And I turned around to walk away. And then everybody started screaming. And I turned and looked and the golf ball came back on and it was heading toward the hole. It didn't go in the hole, but it came back onto the course.
So,
It was
so,
fun, but I'm not
but,
going to do that every day. To me, golfing and fishing is the equivalent of programming.
but
And I'm winning. So
but
I'm
what is your,
competing. I love competing. So I love delivering something that's never been done before. And people still say can't be done. So I'm excited. I'm doing what I love. So it's not like I'm really working. I'm working, but I'm having a ball doing it.
well, but to clarify, most of us that are not genius programmers or non-genius programmers, as you say,
That would be worse for
are
you.
not in a position. What this does for me, plain and simple, does for my family, as I mentioned to you before, I can make money, and now I don't have to worry about making money because it just makes itself, right? But it buys my time back. So that time allows you to do whatever you want to do when you want to do it. And you're not dictated to by, you got to ask your boss for 15 minutes off or maybe a week off a year to spend time with your family.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do that. But you know what's interesting? I mean, maybe we didn't explain something here. As the profits are coming in, these are the profits down here, $60, $66. The profit portion of that is going into my current profit saved bucket down here in the lower left, right here. The profit is going in there. The principal of the trade, the money used to do the purchase, or the USDC used to do the purchase, is staying in the auto trader, is going back into the auto trader to be used to buy more coins. So you can, so what you're seeing up here is the principle of the money doing its job. And you see down here of the money the profits that I could do whatever I want with. I mean, I can just go last year I bought a new car, and I just paid cash, with my Visa card. So yeah, I mean, it just adds up forever. The profits never stop. And I know other people have said, that they live off that money every month that the auto trader makes. They make a couple thousand a month and they take that out and live on it, but the auto trader keeps putting it right back in. The auto trader is pretty consistent about its 30-day profits. It's just going to keep taking and taking and taking. There's nothing anybody can do to stop it. That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. It's just going to keep grinding out money forever. And right now, and we've been living in a pretty pathetic market, really seriously. Look at all the profits it was taking, on 9/18 here. I mean, just all in that
Hey,
one
Ed, sorry
day.
to interrupt. Ed, I'm so sorry to
And then
interrupt,
we
but we
went into this
absolutely,
down period for the next
He's
7
not going
days.
to let you interrupt.
man.
Yeah. All right, go for it. Do we have
No,
more
we gotta,
questions?
we just gotta, I know we're on a roll today, but we absolutely got to get into the Q&A because we've got a lot of questions and I want to make sure we answer them. So Edward, do you want to go first or you want me to attack the first question or two?
Let me jump to Matthias. Matthias, I'm not going to ask you because we don't have time to copy and paste. You've asked it a couple of times in the chat, so let me just address that. So again, if you invest under $10,000, Coinbase is not worthy. They charge 1.2 per market fee. That is the Coinbase advanced fee versus 0.04 in Kraken for the same tier. If your investment is more than $10,000 for the GBT, then you might evaluate using Coinbase since they have other good stuff, such as USDC staking. So my reflection is, Matthias,
I
that
have something to say too about
that it's
that.
preference, it's market preference. Yes, if you want to count fees, Attila, I know, has an opinion on this, and I know you're talking about comparing the two platforms and how much you're paying in fees. And yes, you know, because you commented earlier that the trader calculates the fees, knows what the fees are going to be, and calculates that into the profit goal. So it's a matter of preference. I can't comment any more in comparison of one making more of the other as it relates to fees.
Well, look at this. These 9 trades last month compared to 185 trades in February. That's 20 times difference. That's a 20 times difference. So multiply your 20 times 20. Your comment about 10,000, because you're basing it on a very slow month.
Well,
And
I
I
think
don't
his
know how long
argument,
you've been trading.
Ed, I
You're
think
basing it on
his argument is based on fees, trading fees being charged by the two different exchanges, which is quite frankly a preference, right?
Let me make a comment on that, guys. Some people may not like this statement, but I really don't care because I've been in this space full time 5 years, and I know how lucrative this space can be for our futures and our families' futures. I mean, you could literally go from the outhouse to the penthouse in just 1 or 2 years by being in this digital money revolution. Do you really want to sweat the fees? I
well,
mean,
not only that,
let me just
software
finish
adds
this.
it. The software adds the fee to the profit goal. So when it's closing a position, it's actually going for more profits per, instead of, if your profit goal is set to 3%, it's, I wish that would quit doing that. It's actually going for more to cover the fee. So your fee is actually being covered.
Yeah, but to Matthias's argument is that if it's covering the fees, and if you use Kraken, it's got less fees to cover, which theoretically means more profit. I guess that's a valid argument.
Theoretically. If you're
Right.
But
comfortable with Kraken, then that's fine. Really,
but
it's
there's
really a
more.
matter of which platform are you comfortable with. To
There's
me,
also
they're
yeah.
both equally good in my opinion.
There's also been people that have had Coinbase accounts and they had a major problem with Coinbase and they were suspended from Coinbase, so they have to use Kraken. And conversely, that's happened with people at Kraken also, so they have to use Coinbase. So it's not everything is
Yeah.
black and white in life
Yeah.
and in finances.
Well,
There's
not only that, but look at these top 2 coins that have been the top 2 coins for the last 6 months, Swift and
yeah,
SPA, are only available at Coinbase.
great point. Great
So,
point.
you have to take
Yep.
that into consideration.
Yeah,
And
he did in his follow-on comment.
all right.
But
So,
yeah, we hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
you think we
But anyway,
pounded it on all different.
the bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. We are all fortunate enough, thank you, Lord, to be in this amazing digital money revolution with DeFi, crypto, blockchain, AI, all this stuff. Guys, don't sweat the fees. Just you're in the game. You're smart enough to get in the game and have the trader. Just let it do its work. If anything, add more money as soon as you can, because
Fees and
it's a
taxes.
lifetime trader. It's a
Yeah.
lifetime trader.
I don't sweat fees or taxes. I don't worry about either of those. I'm not
Yeah.
worried about that. And if you do use Coinbase and you sign up for Coinbase One, they give you a report at the end of the year that already did all the taxes, matched
Yeah,
up
and the
the buys
fees
and the sells, and all you do is submit that with your taxes. It's just a
and the
tax
fees are
form that
tax
they already
deductible.
filled out for you. So that's
Fees
one
are tax
advantage of
deductible.
Coinbase.
So you get the
But
money
I'll be
back.
honest, I don't like Coinbase's support. I think it's awful. They don't respond to your emails very, very well. I'm not,
I just had
I'm
a
not in love with
problem.
Coinbase's support.
I
That's the only thing I don't
I
like
just
about
had a problem. I just had a problem last week. I had to move some crypto from out of Coinbase, and it was a larger amount. And I actually called their number, got a hold of somebody, and they did assist and took care of it. So my
it.
customer service,
It's different for
yeah,
everybody.
yeah. So everything, there's nothing that's static.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
next question.
So, all right, I'm going to another comment. Dave, one of the Daves, not the Davids, After I purchase it, what is the minimum amount that I can put in to get started? So I've addressed that question. So what I'm going to do is at the end, I'm going to show you a couple of slides where factually I'm going to give you examples based on what's happened, what the trader performance has been, which we've alluded to several times here. But going forward, it's not no future performance is guaranteed. But we're gonna show you. And the example that I use is $5,000. So you're gonna spend discounted, which I put it in there, and I'll do that before we go on to another question. I'll put a couple of things from a housekeeping perspective in, which is Crypto Casey's exclusive discount link, which gets you $1,000 off. So you're investing instead of $4,500, you're investing $3,500 in the trader. And then my example is based on that plus 5,000 starting cash to start trading. So Dave, great question. Very common question, but always a very important and relevant question, of which Ed is going to go back to this trading report. You see some people $1,000, $3,000. There's a couple with $270. It baffles me. Why would somebody spend $3,500 to start with $279?
I've had that question before. And the fact is, even if you just, if you just ran this auto trader in paper trade mode, what you will learn in your life will change your life forever. You'll never view the markets the same again. And that alone is worth 3,500 to change your life forever, and no longer having to go to the internet and read all that garbage and fake information that's out there. Just learning that to steer away from the scams, and to watch an auto trader that can crank out money for the rest of your life, even in paper trade mode. And then, I've seen people start with $500 and then add $100 a month. In a
Right.
year, they've invested $1,700. In a couple years, that 1,700 turned into over 5,000, and they're on their way. Some younger people start out that way. My nephew doesn't. He'll tell you he's broke if he has $500. But some people will actually do something that's going to change their life forever. And I love it when a young person comes on board, puts $500 in their trader, adds $100 a month, and in a year he's up to 2,500. The next year he's over 5,000, and he's on his way to great wealth. So there really isn't a minimum. Even if you just started in paper trade mode, and just watch it, get it going, and let it sink in of what it's doing, and watch it, and it'll change your life forever. I have whole families using these auto traders, husbands, wives, kids, and literally whole families, husbands, wives, kids, cousins, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters. I've got whole families with like 19 people in the family all running auto traders. And loving it. It's a life changer once you get it.
Yep.
And the market, though, again, is trying to torture us by going lower and lower and lower. And these last couple months, or especially these last few weeks, you can see it's all buys in the last 5 days since 9/18 was the last sell in my trader. And I'm like, hey, that's beautiful. And that's what I've been telling people all along. When you first sign up, you're only going to have one lot. You're going to do one purchase, and you're going to have one lot of each coin. You can see I've got 24 lots of that one, 23 of that one, 17 of this one, 30 of that one, 26 of that one. That's gold, man. That's a well-seasoned auto trader, a lot of inventory, because when the market starts taking off, that's all pure gold.
Yep. All right, Mike. Actually, Fardin. I'm very formal about my name as well, but you asked us to call you Mike in parentheses. Mike says, "Hi everybody. Sorry I'm late. If this question has already been discussed, it's okay. We'll cover it again. But I was wondering if you could go over how effectively the trader uses the high trade count report to help choose one, two at the most currencies, excuse me, that have higher probability of moving more, being more volatile. Very well structured question for the next month and beyond. Or is there another report that could help me make better decisions? Hopefully this makes sense." Yes. Thanks in advance for answering my question. So we did cover this. No worries. You're not late because you're going to get a recording of this, but we're going to answer your question by example. So yes, this high trade count report. I put it into motion. And Ed, can you go into the one that you created? And I'm going to ask you to let me share mine. So we've got two, he's got two,
There it
two
is right
lenses to
there.
look through. Okay. So those L3, SPA, SUI, Swift, and XCN, love XCN. Look at switch over to the high trade counts.
Right.
Where'd you go?
Right here.
There you go. Okay, there you go. Look, Swift, SPA, XCN, L3, and then you had one other. SUI was in there because that's just
Dewey moved
trade,
to number
right?
last month. From last month he moved
To
to number
12.
12. He was number
Right.
4.
Right.
4 or 5.
So and look at the results. Go back to that particular trader. Okay, look, it spit out in what 2 months? It spit out $6,500 in profits. Now, can I borrow the screen back, Ed?
Sure.
Okay, cool. I'm going to kick you off. Then I'm going to go to my trader. Right, this one, what the trader that you just saw was a live trader. Again, we mentioned probably before you came on the platform, the automatic crypto trader and money management system does not know that it's not dealing with real money. When you buy the trader, it automatically goes into paper trade mode or simulation, if you will. I've got my personal accounts, but this is one that I wanted to try when probably about two and a half months, not even that, after Mr. Barsano released the high trade count. Prior to 9 months ago, it didn't exist. Now it exists, and it's such a powerful tool. What I did was I took forget Zora, as I talked about before, but with Pepe, Ando, and Bonk, I took out of the top 10 and let it run. Now, tomorrow is going to be 6 months, right? How powerful is this billion-dollar report or the high trade count? I call it the billion-dollar report because it literally is information that does help you make those smarter decisions, and you have to do zero research. Ed and his team and the trader does it for you. But look, in 6 months tomorrow, I started this account with $100,000, $42,791.05 in a 50+% down market during this simulation period is just cranking out money. So you're almost up to, given a little bit in a crappy market, this is running at a pace of 80. I think I calculated 86% annually ROI or APR, right? And if it's never seen a down market, I mean, it's never seen an up market. It's only seen a 90% plus down market in the time, almost 4 years that it's been running. Ed Barsano's the oldest trader over that period of time, not minute by minute, year by year, but over that period of time is 5x your money or 5x his money, and it's not simulated. This is a simulation, but again, it doesn't know that it's a simulation. But
simulation means that when the robotic trader's running, it's still using all real-time data to make the decision. Only when it goes to actually execute the order, then it discovers that it's paper trading and not live. So then it says just use the current price as the fill price. If it was live, it would be sending the order to Coinbase or Kraken.
Yeah, here's one of the most powerful things that you'll hear me say, and I think by results we've said some very powerful things. This not only makes you money faster and better with mitigated risk. Unless you mess with the settings, there's only 2 ways you can lose money with this trader. The coin goes out of business, or you manipulate the strategy. Everything else has been mitigated. It's very conservative when the market's going down. It buys more, the inventory that Ed has been talking about. And it's very aggressive on the upside. If it wants to spike 50% in one day, you're going to make a whole lot of money in your sleep. But it's not only a money-making machine, it's a cash flow money-making machine. As Attila said when he gave the introduction, it's always been said that cash is king. Cash is not king. If you look at the 2 factors, which by the way the media only tells you about one, which is inflation. What's inflation? Oh, by the way, it's all made up. But they don't tell you about the debasement is the actual term, which every time the government prints money, and you know they print what, maybe 50 cents a day, 50 billion a day, not 50 cents. Every time they print money, the purchasing value on your dollar goes down. I just did a report, and anybody that wants it, they can send a note or just say yes in the chat, and I'll make sure you get a copy of this. We wrote a white paper that compared the last 50 years, 1975 to 2025, on the power of your money or the lack thereof. $1 in 1975, the summary is $1 in 1975 now has the purchasing power of 16.7 cents. So if you think that 2.5, 2 point whatever, make it up, 3% inflation is a real number, every time they print dollars, you have, and I always ask, I live in Florida, I ask people what this is, and they go, oh, that's the Gators, we're Gator fans. I'm like, no, this is money, this is inflation, this is debasement. Every time they do that, it's right now, on average, it's 20% a year. So if you're making less than that and taking risks, and unless you're betting on football or going to the casino and making it consistently, if you there isn't any place to make that kind of money. If the talking heads, Ed says the talking heads come on CNBC and they're talking about, oh, you got to do this and you got to do this, and over time, if you were in the S&P and the blah 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 blah, that you would have made 12% a year over time. Well,
that's actually the number they threw out.
Yeah, and if it's less than, so math quiz,
it's criminal.
Is 20% a bigger number than 12? Of course it is. So the reason why we get so excited about this, and Attila goes, man, you always getting really, you know why I'm excited about it? Is because this has changed the financial trajectory of my family's legacy. And what's our job? To create a legacy for our children's children. What do you say?
I want to know where all the penny candy went and the nickel candy bars.
Man, you better wake up, because you just went back to the future. What do you say? What, in leaving a legacy, don't leave them silver dollars. Leaving your kids a legacy, what do you leave them? A well funded auto trader that will print money for their life and beyond.
Well, I've had people say that they're saving their silver to give to their kids, and I'm like, their kids aren't going to know what to do with it. You know, they're going to spend those silver dollars like they're dollar bills. You know, I watched my grandfather when he passed away in the 60s. You know, I was too young, so I didn't get any of that. But, you know, the older kids and my cousins, they were spending $20 gold coins like they were $20 bills. Literally going to a store with $20, buying $20 worth of stuff and giving them a $20 gold coin. Here you go. Ha ha. I'm like, oh man, my grandfather messed up there. He should have educated somebody. Me. He should have just handed it all to me. I wouldn't have done that. You know, but I was too young, and he didn't give me any of it, you know, and my grandmother didn't know what to do with it, so she just divvied it up to all those older kids. And
all right, so
it was candy.
So we're gonna curb our enthusiasm. I've never seen the show, but it fit the time.
Oh, yeah,
so if you get Ed and Edward together, or Ed squared, then you're never going to be bored. But we're keeping you people later than we always intend.
This is our life. This is all we're having fun doing, man. I don't want to get off the show.
Yeah, you can tell we're slightly enthusiastic. So we've got a few more questions, and then we'll, as Moses said, let my people go. We'll wrap this up for you. So Walter, I've had Go Baby trade since 326 of 25. That's interesting. That's
right when the crash started.
Right. Well, no, of 2025, which is one day later than I started the simulator. I've been happy with it until the market for my coins flattened out. Well, it's flattened out for everybody. SPA is
everybody in the world. It flattened out for everybody in the world. A lot of people internalize the market prices. And Edward, you mentioned a few times that the market's taken a 50% hit. What does that mean? It means a 4-cent coin went to 2 cents. It means a 9-cent coin went to 4.5 cents. It means a 20-cent coin went to 10 cents. The prices of the coins literally got cut in half. They dropped. And of course, again, I'm going to use the phrase, the little guy sold off in a panic at the bottom. And they sell off every day, by the way. Every day that the market is lower, the little guy is selling off, and the big guy with $30 million is loading up like crazy at these ridiculous prices. We've
Mhm.
seen him do it in every previous crash. That's what happens.
Yeah, so you're not alone, Walter. Here's the cool
You're
news.
not
And
alone. You're not alone.
it's counterintuitive, but what I'm going to say is true because of the value, excuse me, and the mechanism of the trader. Everything that you own, I own SPA. I own SPA in 3 different accounts. I love SPA. SPA is going to be one of the performers of that, XCN, a lot of the other ones that we talked about. Don't worry. The cool part is down is good.
But we're not
It's
investment
been
advisors, so if you want to
no,
worry, go ahead and worry.
yeah,
But
well, yeah, you can worry if you want. But I'm just saying, I would suggest that you don't worry because you don't have to. Look at it. Don't stare at it myopically, where you're going to look at your account value. Look at it at what it's going to do to perform over time. We are in the dinosaur age of decentralized market, of decentralized finance and the crypto market. It was just 9 months ago, 8 months ago, that all of a sudden, with the change in the administration, they took all the shackles off the people that wanted to deal in crypto and decentralized finance. And shit, if you went back if you went back 10 years ago and somebody said crypto or Bitcoin or something, you were looked upon as a thief, a drug dealer, running arms, or somehow other nefarious activities. Now, what happened? Bing, bing. It took 10 years to get here, but now we have an administration that has prompted the global adoption of digital assets as its reserves. Let me make that make sense. How many more trillions other than $37 trillion can we go into debt? The asset base or the traditional finance, I keep telling you, and you can argue till the cows come home, it is a rigged system that is a debt-based system with built-in inflation on purpose, because that's the only way that they control the game. But $37 trillion, we've now reached the point where our gross domestic product does not bring in enough income to pay the interest on the debt. So what happens? Let me make that make sense to you and me. That means you're insolvent and you're out of business or bankrupt, right? Are the big guys really going to let their global finance that it's all built on the same scam go out of business? Hell no. So why? What's happening now? There's a shift to an asset based, meaning it grows in value. If you want to talk Bitcoin, Bitcoin's up 176% annually since 2010, right? Is it the greatest coin to trade? Hell no. But is it a great asset? You're hearing all the rumblings to every single country is putting a digital reserve in place. Why? Why? Because it's the future of money.
right.
Attila coined a very, very important, we're actually writing a book called The Digital Money Revolution. It's not here to test it out. It's here to stay. And I mentioned the 92% that don't know S from straight up about crypto or definance. Get on the bandwagon, man, because if you miss it, it's not a matter of if it's going to be there. It's already there. It's already there. People used to argue with me 2 years ago about this whole digital thing, and I'm like, hold on a second. How do you get paid? Do you run down to the office and they pay you in nickels or $20 bills? No, it's automatically transferred to your account, in your bank account. How do you pay your bills? The same damn way, right?
Right.
So wait a minute. You're worried about the digital world that you're already in. It's just you're moving from a scam system to a non-scam system where you get to control your money, your future, and wrapping this up.
Okay.
And we're down
Yeah,
to
wrap it up.
right. So what's that? Oh, now I sound like you. So all right, we're back. We're down to 3 questions. So
But before we go on, you notice when the
oh, wait,
auto
there's
trader
more.
is not trading, when the auto trader, if you look at your screen, if it's still up there, today's move, point at today's move.
These, right?
Yeah, you can see they're not moving. Bonk is down 1%. Ondo is up 0.54, 0.5%. Pepe, the digits are so small that it's 0.
Yeah, if you look at the
WIF,
current price over here.
yeah, WIF is up 0.38%. The only one that's made a move is Zora, 3.8%. So on days like this, when nothing's happening, you would be surprised how many people out there are still panicking and freaking out and going crazy and trying to change things in their strategy as if they could make the market move. Don't be those people. As Attila says, leave it alone. Because if the market's not moving, the auto trader's not going to do anything. If we're not moving, then what do you want us to do? Take it easy. Go fishing.
Yeah, it's not. Mine's not bought. This one is not bought since 248 yesterday.
Yeah,
Or
it's
done
like take
anything.
it easy. The market's not moving, but you'd be surprised how many people start panicking. And the biggest issue I get with the auto trader, the biggest thing that I hear is, I know, Anthony, 4 hours. I'm sorry. But the biggest thing that I hear is people, they want to put more money in. And they want to, they're like, I mean, they want to say, how can I make my auto trader use more of the money that's already in there? And it's like, don't. If you make your auto trader use more money at the top, then it has less money to use when the prices go lower. And that's what's happening right now. The prices are going lower, and the people that were in a big rush to say, and I get the emails, I get at least 3 a day that say, how can I make my auto trader put more money in of the money I have? And the auto trader's saying, I want to do money management. I want to spread that money out. I want to take it easy. And you're saying, no, I want all my money being in the market. Well, if you're in the market and the market's crashing, then you run out of money when the prices go lower, and you don't want to do that. And you always get punished for that, because the same person that does that will come back in a month and say, how come my auto trader is doing so much less now than it was doing 3 weeks ago or a month ago?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you used up all your money at the top. You went and bought $40,000 worth of XRP manually because you got excited about XRP, and you used up all the money that the auto trader had planned to use for all your other coins.
Yep.
That's why I say let the auto trader do the money management. It'll divide it up beautifully.
Set it and forget it. If anybody's old enough to know who Ron Popeil is, what was his deal? Set it and forget it. That's it. So let me put your mind at ease, Walter, and I'll address your second question. Right. And you were addressing Ted. I fear that number 2 coin spa has lost relevancy, and I hope I'm proven wrong by Q2. This is just my opinion and my opinion only. When this market goes parabolic and we see the prices go up crazy, rest assured that if you owned Coin, which is a real coin, it doesn't matter what you own, let alone a good quality utility like SPA. And I don't believe, in my opinion, it's lost relevancy. But anything that you own in this market, Ed, what do you say? You can't own enough crypto right now. The market, when it takes off, just by its actions, everything is going to be pushed north. Now,
I think everything is way undervalued, ridiculously undervalued. It's just crazy. Right. And that's just my theory, but I don't care really about a lot of stuff about the coin itself. What I care about is the volatility.
Right.
Will it move? Does it move down a lot? That's
Yep.
where the highest trade count report comes in. Just give me coins that move a lot. If I'm running a 7-Eleven, I don't have to love every product I'm selling. I don't drink Monster drinks. But if I own a 7-Eleven, I'm going to fill up that cabinet with Monster drinks because I see other people buying them.
All right. Walter's got a serious question. Not that the first one wasn't serious. So what happens when I hit my 25 lots? Put more money in and increase my lots. Will SPA ever go back up, or will it never return to its high like GRT?
It never has to go back to its high. Right. I started trading Alchemy Pay, ACH, at 12 cents a share. It is now under 2 cents. I've taken 350,000 in profit. I'm only down 70,000 in my open inventory. So they can never take that 350,000 is because of the wiggles. SPA never has to go back up there again.
Right.
You're going to keep taking profits down here at the bottom for the rest of your life. And SPA has been number one, and it's been swapping places with Swift at the top of that highest trade count report for the last 6 months.
Yeah,
It's been 1 and 2 for the last 6 months.
yeah. If you noticed, like Ed pointed out, if you noticed when we pulled up the $1 billion report, the market has come to a screeching halt, right? Over the last, it's been down 50% in the last 6 months, but I showed you mine, 50% running at an 85% ROI, even in that space, right? So again, right, the magic is it never has to go as high as it needs to go to recover from the first position. You may
You
have some
don't have to
inventory at the
sell
top,
every last
but
lot that you bought
right,
profitably. You can sit down here and crank out money at the bottom for the rest of your life. And
yeah,
you notice
millions.
my
But
second bottle is empty, by the way.
so in my humble opinion, yes, and we're going to let people go. In my humble opinion, you're going to sell all the lots at a profit, and then guess what? Market never goes straight up. Market never goes straight down. All it's going to do is crank out money. It's going to buy more inventory, no matter whether the price is here or whether the price is here. It's just going to do what it does. This mechanism, this brilliant machine, doesn't know any better than just to take profits. It doesn't care. It has no emotion, which, by the way, most people panic because of emotion. But just look at time value. And I am going to finish with a slide because I promised the money example. But we've got a couple of more questions to address, and then we're done. Dave, I noticed the recording of last week's Zoom that on the new trader Ed was showing on the screen, the max lots per coin were set at 40 above the preset, excuse me, of 25 or the recommended range of 25 to 30 range in that margin. Is there a reason for this?
There is, because the market kept going lower and lower. So what you do then is you hit the nail on the head. You can either put more money in, and well, when you do is you raise the max lots from 25. If we're doing on 3% drops, 3 times 25 is a 75% drop. You're covered. So raise it to from 25 to 30 lots. 3 times 30 is 90. So that covers you to a 90% drop. That increases your trading window at the bottom. But then where's it going to get the extra money to trade with? That's why we always say save 100% of your profits. The default is to save 100% of your profits. Now, some people set that to 0 and they say, I want it, because they're so eager to get every dollar into the market. But then when they get to the bottom, if a coin does, like the market's taking a nice, beautiful drop, and it is beautiful, we're going lower and lower and lower. So then they don't have any funds in there, no saved profits to release to the trader to use. So then they either have to put more money in,
Yep.
or wait until the prices go back up and sell off the stuff that they bought at that's the lowest. So that's the answer, But if you leave the auto trader alone, so the reason you see 40 lots in there is because the coins that I'm sitting on have dropped that much. And that's actually a testament to the market. That's not a testament to the auto trader. That's a gift from the market to allow the prices to go that low. I mean, wouldn't you love Microsoft to go to $3 a share right now? I would love it. I mean, I'd load up. I'd buy $1 million. Probably buy $5 million worth of Microsoft at $3 a share, right? So this is a gift here that they actually lowered these prices like this. Of course, who did they lower them for? The average guy out there is not out buying crypto. They lowered it for your House reps, your Senate. You got all this guaranteed money because they know they're going to clean up all the regulations holding these crypto prices down. Like I said, you got coins going for under 2 cents that should be going for $20 a share.
The next quarter.
It's an opportunity to load up. This is a chance where regular people like us, I consider myself a regular person, can become a multi-billionaire.
And eliminate the risk.
Pardon me?
And eliminate the risk with the trader.
Yeah, and be able to do that. Whereas what other investment is there? You want to throw it in a bond? You're not going to make any money. Throw it in a savings account and get 1% a year. I was doing my taxes a couple of years ago. I looked at the statement the bank sent me. It said I made 8 cents interest I mean, granted, I don't really like leave money in a bank, but 8 cents is an insult. You know, I mean, they spent more on that envelope to mail that to me, you know, to tell me I made 8 cents interest. I mean, what a
Yep.
joke. But I mean, there's no other place where you can look at getting 50%, 100% a year returns without having to
No,
do
with
anything.
with cash flow, with cash flow. All right, we got one more question. And then I'm going to show the example, and we are pushing. No, Anthony, we're not getting to 4 hours, but we are pushing 3 hours. It's always entertaining. There are always great questions. We always appreciate the participation, particularly for the new people that are just trying to wrap their head around having to deprogram themselves over what they've been taught about money and how it reacts, and then trying to understand drinking from a fire hose all that we share. The good news is you're going to get a recording. You can join how you got here is probably by Crypto Casey. You're Crypto Casey fan, of which we love Crypto Casey, and or by someone that's recommended you to
Crypto
hear
Casey
from
said we
us.
should be selling this for $25,000.
Yeah, well, you took the punchline. We asked her last time she was live, and she pops in maybe every 6 to 10 weeks, just to take the pulse of her audience because everybody loves her. They only see her in a recording. She joins us live every once in a while, so always look for that announcement. But I hit her with last time she was live. I said, "Listen, this is not pre-rehearsed, but I'm going to ask you now that you first thought it was a scam, then realized it wasn't. You started making money. What is your perceived value of this trader?" Without hesitation, she said what?
Said
$25,000 a
25,000.
year would not be unreasonable. Now, I don't know. I can't answer for Ed, but this price, it's been at this price forever and ever and ever. A couple of good points about that is it still gives you the opportunity, plus you're getting a discount. If you go to gobabytrade.com, don't do that because you're going to pay $1,000 more. I don't say that out of
Don't
disrespect,
go directly,
right?
use the link.
I don't say that because disrespectfully, in that Ed would, if we weren't here, he'd be selling it at $4,500. But if you go there, right, you're not paying $25,000 a year. Now, I can't speak to as everybody, Ed, but I mean Attila, even the stock trader sold for that much money, and he's been begging him to raise the price, not to wash people out, but I think the reason, actually not, I think the reason why he's kept it this reasonable is to give everybody a fair chance to get in at a reasonable price. Here's even the better news. If this all makes sense to you, and now or sometime in the future, or no, but if it does make sense to you, and you buy the trader at the 3499, then you're grandfathered in by the grace of Mr. Barsano when it comes to
Renewals.
renewals. Then you're gonna be eligible to be locked in at that same price. If it's $6,500, you're not going to pay that. Somebody new will, but you're not going to have to do that. Now, with that, I'm going to answer this last question, and then do you gentlemen mind if I show an example? Excuse me, that I promised it. Geez, how much can you make on what first one? How much money do I have to put in to make this make sense? And you already saw the examples of the top traders, but I'm going to make it a little bit more make sense and articulate the fact that this is really, if you consider it a lifetime trader, then it'll make sense. But let me answer Ted's question.
When you
Yes.
say makes sense though, it will even if you, like I said, even if you signed up and just paper traded and didn't even go live for a year, what the sense that it's going to make is you're going to understand that those other websites out there where they say we guarantee 100% a month return, you'd be surprised how many people fall for that baloney.
All day, every day.
They do, and then they get ripped off. And you'll learn to steer away from the scams that are out there, and there are
Right.
a lot of them.
Oh, that's a great point. I mean, and they're all
They're
invisible behind the
misled.
screen, all visible behind the screen, trying to sell you something that is generally vaporware. That's when they tell
Hey,
you something and it doesn't.
Edward, I gotta butt in here just for a second. I have a 5:30 meeting I have to take off for.
Cool.
It's traffic time, so I really got to go. But everybody that's still here, thank you so much for being here today. If you want to come back and just get a refresher next Wednesday, we're here at 2 Eastern time. Ed Barsano, great to see you. We'll see you tomorrow
Thank
night.
you.
Yep.
And
Everybody
everybody
hang in
else,
there. We're not going away.
Yep.
We'll finish
hang
up.
in there.
But yes, Attila, thank you so much. We'll see you at least next week, maybe even tomorrow, if there's a chance.
Yep.
Ed knows
Thank
what
you,
that's
guys.
about. So appreciate it. Safe
Thank
travels.
you, Attila.
All right.
Thank you, Ed.
Yep.
As always. Thank you.
All right. Cheers. So, Ted, this is a question for you, Ed. Ted says, is the highest trade count calculated on just one trader or the average of all of them running? Great question.
No, it has nothing to do with the traders at all. It's a separate program that runs all by itself that basically backtests the last year, month over month, to show how many trades you would have received if you traded that coin. So each month you can see how many trades, how many closed profitable trades you would have made with that coin. The purpose of that report is to show the difference between the coins at the top that give you almost 1,000 trades or more in a year versus the coins at the bottom of the report that give you 10% or less of that. It just shows you coins that, like if I was running a 7-Eleven, like I said before, if I was going to create a 7-Eleven, I would probably at some point sit down with a distributor that's going to show me the products to put in my 7-Eleven that are going to move the most. And, and pick from those. And that's what that report primarily is for, is to show me the coins that move around, that have volatility enough, the ones that are going to give me the most trades per year. Because that's what it's about, is turning inventory.
Right. So good. So I'm gonna do a little bit of
But how I
housekeeping.
created it is less important than the purpose of the report. Because
Right.
don't try to create this stuff. I hear other people saying and I don't mind even helping people. They ask me, some questions are very directly, related to programming. And I'm like, don't even go there, man. Because there's so much I couldn't even tell you. Over 25 years I've been doing this, and the software's gotten improved and added on, and so many rules and it takes so many years to get the trader to where it's at, and to get the AI to where it's at, that it takes years and years and years. And it's like, I would not envy anybody that thinks they're going to sit down and create an auto trader. They don't even know what they're getting into, unless you better love programming, because you're going to be doing it for a long time. And I'm like, why would you even go down that path when you have an auto trader that's already
Everybody
done?
thinks they can build a better mousetrap, but there isn't a better mousetrap than the one that you've built. So let me do a little bit of housekeeping, then I'm going to show you an example, and then we are going to let you go. So thanks for tolerating our rant and our excitement, but we're
There's
excited.
just so much info.
Well,
There's just so much info that we talk fast, and we're trying to. There's just so much info to share that every
yeah.
webinar goes 3 hours.
Anthony says I live for it. So I'm going to put if you didn't catch it the first couple of times, there is Crypto Casey's exclusive discount. If you click on it, it doesn't obligate you to anything. It takes you to the landing page for Go Baby Trade. Excuse me, and you can hit all the buttons. You can go to the frequently asked questions, of which, good point. I think I pointed at that in the in the slides. Yes, I did. So give me a second. That's the next thing I'm going to post. Is click on this. As we always say, do your own research. This is a brilliant new release where it's an interactive frequently asked questions. Every day, probably, Ed's team is adding to the frequently asked questions. Part of doing your own research. There's probably less than a 1% chance that someone's not asked the question that's in your head that'll pop in your head in the
It's
middle of sleep.
it's actually the better place to go before you send us email,
Yeah,
because
true.
the questions that we're getting asked nowadays are just repeats of other questions. And we're actually going to start, some of you may have already seen it, we're sending you the link to the frequently asked question with the question.
Right.
So it just goes, there's your answer, and you don't feel like we're not giving you a personalized answer kind of thing. Oh, hi, David, I mean, we might still say hi, David, I'm not sure how the support people want to handle it, but it's like you can find your answer by clicking this.
Right.
Because it
Right.
makes no sense for us to repeat the same answer over and over and over again. And a lot of the questions, you'd be surprised, are very common.
Right.
So
The
the
next
best
thing,
place to go to is frequent. You notice in your auto trader. Do you want to bring up your auto trader, Edward?
oh yeah, I know what you're going to point out because it's brand new,
Under the
right?
menu.
So hold on a second.
Under the menu.
There we go.
I'm still holding my hands in place.
All right, there you go. You should be seeing it.
Now go to the menu on the top right.
Yep.
Frequent FAQ/support. I added the /support to that menu answer. Before it was a menu that just said FAQ. I changed it to /support
There
because
you go.
go there first and look for your answer. And then if you can't find it, then send us email. Otherwise, we're just going to
Chances are
point
you're
you
going to
to the
find it.
same answer.
Yep. So with that, bear with me.
And also, if I was sharing my screen, I could show you another feature that's getting ready to come that's going to be released.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and share because I'm going to do a little bit more housekeeping and make sure people have the proper links that they need.
I'll show it real fast.
All right. Well, you do the sharing. I'll do the talking. Mention that this community and all the communities that we support, we're interested in having a community. So what did we do? We created a community. Now, the disclaimer is this is not a Go Baby Trade or its parent company managed community. This is financial intelligence for you. Jason, if you're still with us, this goes back and addresses part of your question. What's in it for us? Financial intelligence is created on one side to teach you all the things you don't know that you don't know about the scam, what I call the scam system. The other side of the page is to teach you all of the things about the new digital money revolution, which part of it is the trader. The platform is there for people to understand and share and to be in a community that is of like mind, right? So people asked us to create a community. So we did. There you go. It's a free invite. It doesn't cost you anything. Eventually, it will be limited to people that own the trader. But right now, go in, interact. If you don't get your questions in either in the chat, in this performance, or in the frequently asked questions, then ask people in the community. They're all very kind, very like-minded, and our community is going to go beyond just the trader because here's the cool part. Here's another blessing that we receive because of Mr. Barsano's work. If we're going to show you through the trader how to make money in your sleep, do you want to know how to properly structure your castle? Meaning a trust, LLC, IRA. This allows you to. We're now working with a partner that will open up a directed IRA that you can buy the trader in the IRA and you can start cash flowing your IRA, which means free, tax-free money. Right. So stay with us. That's part of what you'll have access to when we're ready to release such things in our community. It's absolutely amazing. There are so many things that we're going to be bringing to you for your trust and loyalty to who we are and teaching you. Right. So Jason, what's in it for us? This is even further evidence that we want to just help you. We've all been in the position where we've had more month at the end of the money than more money at the end of the month. So why wouldn't we teach you? It's almost nobody wants to teach you this stuff. Why? Because the establishment has established a way to control you. It's another form, and I mean no disrespect, it's another form of slavery. If they can keep you just over broke, which by the way is a secret acronym that the government I was part of made up. Why is it just over broke? Because it's a job. Go to school, get a job, trade time for money. Don't be embarrassed of that because I spent 45 years in that matrix. Now I'm out. Now I know better. Now I have access to, I'm so blessed. This has touched me personally more than anybody. And I love all over Mr. Barsano for what he's created. Now, did he get his ass kicked and think, oh, I should think of Edward and see if I could fix his life? No, he did it out of the fact that somebody was cheating him. And in that cheating gave him the motivation to create something that is a blessing for everybody. That's it. That's
Yeah, I
it.
just took
So
all the
you're,
gambling out of the market is all.
yep, you're welcome. Which, by the way, Ed, I apologize. I sent you an email yesterday about. Oops, I totally forgot. I never invited you to be part of the community. So I did
Yeah, I
in
saw that email.
Okay, cool. So yes, you mentioned when we first talked about this 2 weeks ago, you said, "Well, can I participate if I want to participate?" Yes,
Yeah.
of course,
Well,
but you're not
I want to
obligated
jump
to.
on there. I want to jump on there and converse also with the
Good.
community.
Well, I've made you an admin, so you've been promoted.
Oh,
so,
so
so
here I've got admin links. Did you want to share this yet, or you're?
yeah, yeah.
I have.
Well, I'm going to put
Yeah.
one more link in, and my time is over. Other than the example that we're going to show you at the end, the last link I'm going to give you is you can always keep track of the replays. You'll get them automatically within 48 hours. The Zoom system where you registered will send you a replay. But if you miss it or you want to know what else is going on when we start expanding our ecosystem, showing you how to keep the money that you're making in your sleep, then you can go to our YouTube channel. Shameless plug, like and subscribe because then it'll notify you when we come out with something new. Ed, the floor is all yours.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I'm not a graphic artist, so when I come out with new features, they're pretty raw. They don't look pretty. But, like this health meter, this is something, these links here at the bottom are admin links, things I have that you guys don't have yet. But this health meter here is getting ready. I'm almost getting ready to release that. And where did it go? Oh, it's thinking. Come on, baby. And what this is going to show you is you see all these things here. It's kind of like Quest Diagnostics, if you ever see that. You got
Your
all the
heart
good,
monitor.
you got all the good stuff at the bottom, everything's green, all that stuff is good. So all the stuff at the bottom, it's all good. But the warnings, you got some of these that are going to be warnings, informational, and then some of them that are going to be outright errors. It's going to say, hey, this is an error, fix it. Funds to invest setting exceeds 100%. Well, if I go and look at my trader, let's go back here and look. I didn't realize it apparently, but let me go to exchange preferences or select currencies. Let's take a look and see what the error is. Okay, funds to invest. It's 100%, so that's an error on my part. That's not even an error. I hate to say. Why?
It's an error to the error.
Yeah, because let me take a look at that again. Let's bring that up again. The health meter. If funds to invest setting exceeds 100%. Well, it's not exceeding 100%. So I might have to figure out why that is. But you can review it. It says select currencies and click spread funds equally. Well, I've already done that. What is funds to invest? And you go to frequently asked and tells you what that is. I'm going to figure out what that is because that's an error to an error because
Yeah, but
I'm
you
not
brought up
exceeding. But
bring up
if you did, say you did, let's just say, for instance, let's take a look. Sometimes I set errors just to be errors, so I'm testing. Don't worry, before that ever releases, that'll be cleaned up. But basically, it's you're going to be able to help yourself. Like, say I set one of these to 25%. See, now it's at 105%. That is exceeding 100%. You can't exceed more money than what you have.
I think
And
maybe it's telling you got too much money in your account.
no. So anyways, it tells you whatever the errors, whatever errors or warnings you have. Let's take a look at the couple warnings that I have. It's telling me a few more things. Let's see. It says not all available trading funds allocated for future trades. What the heck does that even mean? Not all available trading funds are allocated for future trades.
Oh, spread. That's the error that was caused by the error that was really not an error.
Yeah. So this is probably not a good time for me to be showing you this stuff because I'm generating errors because I got to figure out what the solutions are going to be.
Well,
You know,
before I, excuse me, before I go
yeah.
into the,
But in
to
any case, you'll always know your mission in life in your trader is to always have all of them looking like this. All success, everything, no action required. You're doing everything right.
right.
And
Okay, go
that's
back to
getting
your
ready
trader for,
that's going to come out
yep,
soon.
stay right there for a second, and then I'm going to show people the example. And I know I keep saying we're going to let you go, but we're going to let you go. All right. So everything on this page on your dashboard that looks like a hyperlink, why does it look like a hyperlink? Because it's a hyperlink. Click on one.
Take you to frequently asked questions and tell you what it is. Like today move, if I click on that, it's going to take me here. What does today move mean? And it'll explain what it means. You know, there it is. This shows how much the coin's price has changed since yesterday. Okay,
Right.
red negative number means the price went down, a blue means up. And okay, so that's what it is. And you
Yep.
can click
Very,
on
very interactive.
any of these. Today's profits taken. If I click on that, it takes me here. What is today's profits taken? This shows the total profit in dollars that the trader locked in today by closing positions at a gain.
Right.
And you can just go through any of these.
Yep. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to boot you off, and I'm going to show some examples of if the trader, and these are, believe it or not, these are conservative numbers based on, I mentioned to you that a little bit over 3.5 years. Mr. Barsano started this trader ago, April of 21. Didn't start actually trading until November. Was it November or December? December of 21.
December.
All right. So December of this year will be 4 years. These performance numbers, or this example that I'm going to show you, is based on a conservative estimate of what it, under what it's performed over less than 4 years. As I said, started with 200,000. It's been as high as a million, 1.2 million, but it's taken almost $1 million in profit. I don't know the math. That's 5x your money in. Oh, by the way, with cash flow in less than 4 years. So, but I bring this example up as as an example. So let me get to that page. If it were to do what it's done before, I lost you. Okay, let me share this. Okay. So here you go. Can everybody see that? Can you see that, Ed?
I just see your main screen, RCT Marketing Systems. Now I see it.
Okay, cool. All right, that means everybody else can see it. Okay, so here's an example. Just starting with $5,000, which I alluded to before. If it performed as it's done in the last 3.5 years, this is what it would look like. Conservative, because it actually performed better than this, which is hard to believe. I told you at the beginning, put your racing harness on because you're going to fall out of your seat. And if you don't believe it, you don't believe it. I also told you this is fact central. This is a no BS zone. This is real live numbers. So let's say you bought the trader. By the way, everything after these equal signs is lost opportunity if you don't buy the trader. And this is not guaranteed. Down the bottom, it's example only. This is not predicting the future. This is reflecting upon a 90% down market, 5x your money, and with cash flow. Right? That's it. Those are factual points. Those are all constants, not variables. If you want to talk, numbers or science. 3 years, 5,000 at the end of 3 years, 5 turns to 10, 10 turns to 20, 20 turns to 40. Minus your $5,000 starting capital, minus your cost of the license. If you didn't do it, your lost opportunity would be $31,501. Let's say you ended there. But let's say, yes, or if I asked you a question, if I told you, give me $5,000, walk away, come back and see me in 3 years. At the end of 3 years, I'll give you $31,501. What would your answer be? What would your answer be, Mr. Barsano?
Well, how much can I give you?
All right. If I said give me $1 or give me $5 and I'll give you $30, how many $5 bills are you going to give me? No trick question. All of them. So let's just say you go, all right, that works for me. 31,000. Then you start it. Then you have to buy another license, right? At the same price. Remember, I told you that the price isn't going to go up on you if you're locked in. At the end of the 6th year, you got 320,000 minus the 5, minus your cost of 2 licenses. Your opportunity lost or made is $300,000 for doing nothing. Raoul Paul. I don't know whether you know who Raoul Paul is. Go look him up on YouTube. Raoul Paul was on the Diary of a CEO 2 weeks ago show and said, passive cash flow for doing nothing is a myth. Guess what? We just wrote a white paper out of this, and I just sent it to Raoul Paul. Let me show you why it's not a myth.
I hear a lot of people,
Right.
you know, a lot of famous people make quotes that I laugh about.
Okay, so well, they don't. Outside of the Barsano sphere, this doesn't exist. By the way, I just made that up. So keeping with the example, at the end of 9 years, and oh, by the way, 9 years is going to pass whether you do anything or not. Why wouldn't you want to put yourself in a better position? End of 9 years.
That's what happens. That's what happens. You know, once you have a robotic trader and you see what it does, then the next thing you do, and I'm only speaking from experience because I talk to a lot of people, they start trying to figure out where they can find more money to put in.
Listen, my wife and I have a weekly, monthly discussion. Where are we getting more money to throw into this trader? Right. So at the end of 9 years,
the only passive place you can just park your money, the only savings account you can park your money and watch it automatically take daily profits.
And it makes it almost as much as an interest-bearing account with Bank of America, right? So at the end of 9 years, and I'll stop belaboring, I'll stop.
Well, that's the problem with a bank account is you put your money. I remember I used to say this when I was much younger, long before I ever even did anything with anything. I didn't know anything before I was a programmer. I used to say, you know, I used to observe what we would do. Remember the old passbook accounts in the banks?
Yeah. You would take them in, they would stamp it for you.
I just aged myself. You know, you deposited your paycheck in there and they stamped it. I don't remember what they stamped it, you know, and I know that you gave them the check, the passbook, and they stamped it and they gave it back. And then, you know, you'd save up enough money to go out and buy a bike, and then you'd withdraw it all and go buy a bike, and now I'm broke again. You know, it's like, and that's not this trader. That's the beauty of this trader. It keeps cranking out money and it's growing on its own, and then you take out your savings or the profits it's been making, and or some of the profits it's been making, and the auto trader just continues cranking out money for the rest of your life. And like I always say, it feels criminal to me that I could be doing this, but I always go back to reality. I'm not violating any laws, man. Nobody said I can't do money management, and therein lies that's the thing. I mean,
so your passbook example, you know what this stamp was? It was a time date stamp that every time that you gave them money, they time date stamped the last time that they robbed you. So let me finish with this example. At the end of 9 years, this is what really happens. Go do the math. Somebody prove me wrong. And by the way, I haven't said this in a couple of weeks, but if you can bring us a system to evaluate that outperforms this system, that is a no-brainer, turn it on, let it go. You don't have to do anything to it. If you can prove that there's a better system out there, I will personally, not Ed, not Go Baby Trade, I personally will send you $1,000 in Bitcoin. Period. By the way, I put that out there and no one's ever responded to it. So that's how confident I am in what this thing does. At the end of 9 years, 2.56 million minus your original investment, minus 3 licenses, is a lost opportunity or made opportunity of 2.544 million. Now, at this point, Ed's going to say, oh, you got to buy another trader because it can only be 2 million. That's the limit, right? So
I set the limit.
Would it hurt your feelings if you had to spend another $4,000 to just replicate that and keep replicating? By the way, if you're looking at cash flow, you're like, okay, how much money, or where in the timeline that Edward just showed me, could I just have enough money in there to where it's making so much money, it's now way overtaken my bills and my income on an annual basis? Well, we've already proven it. $300,000.
A lot of clients like that already.
$300,000 is going to make you over time 7 to 10% per month. Can you live on $20,000 to $30,000 a
I
month?
had a guy working at AT&T, and he said his auto trader a couple of years ago was making more money than he was making. So he quit his job.
Hallelujah. All right. So if you don't believe that, then let's look at half of this, right?
So 50%.
50, if it only made 50%, which we've proven it's made way more than that in a down market. Now, again, no guarantee of the future, but this thing's never seen a bull market. I can only imagine, particularly now, if you're so fortunate to have down inventory, which sounds absurd to say, but if you have inventory or a well-seasoned auto trader, then you are in the position of a king or a queen. Let's just say it only operates at 50% and gives you that cash flow. At the end of 3 years, if I said give me $5, and at the end of 8 years I'll give you eight. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but where else are you going to get that kind of return with no risk? 6
No,
years.
because once you see what it's doing, you're going to start going crazy. I've seen people mortgaging their houses and everything. I actually put a video on the internet that's on the website that says don't mortgage your house, because people are actually doing that stuff. They're just, where can I find more money to throw in the auto trader, really? Because there's nowhere else I know where you can just put your money like a savings account and just watch it crank out more money
Yep. On
and
that same
prep you for the run that is about ready to come.
Right. So let me end with this. Well, and then I'll give a proper thank you for your time and attention, your valuable time. That same video, go look up on YouTube. Go look Diary of a CEO. Guy by the name of brilliant kid by the name of Stephen Bartlett has created this channel. He's got over 10 million followers. And look for the Raw Paul. It was only a couple weeks ago. But there's four guys that are recognized in the world as the top in their field in finance. Raoul Paul is 100% crypto and doesn't know about this, but guess what? We're going to have him as a guest in a future episode, and we're going to show him what he said and show him why it doesn't work, but why his idea doesn't work. But one of the other panelists said, "What's sad is that people spend more money on streaming services a month than they do investing in themselves." Now, I don't know about you, but we have every streaming service available on the planet, and they're slightly more than $3.19 a day. Now, the cool thing is that I get to invest in the trader, and my kids get to watch whatever streaming platform. But for $3.19 a day, which is the $3,499 divided by 36 is $97 a month,
On average.
$20 a week, $3.19 a day. If you're not investing in yourself that much a day to get even at half performance this kind of result, you might want to rethink your wealth strategy. And that's all I have to say, other than Mr. Barsano. How about some parting words?
Well, I just feel like, what's nice is, thank you. That was a good walkthrough of even a 50% return, which is, we do that standing on our head in a down market. Watch what happens when this market turns up. We've never seen a bull market with the robotic trader, but I know all that inventory that I'm sitting on. Every time any of these coins makes a jump, I see all the profits, all the crazy profits it makes. And then the coin goes back down again and we load up again. So I just know that when this thing takes off, man, it's going to be a beautiful thing. Just like my old system. I mean, I was doing stocks. I automated the stock market all the way since 2001. I've got traders that have been trading for over 20 years with my auto traders. They cleaned up. And all those coins rocketed. And Microsoft went from $30 to $500 a share. So, I mean, you're running an auto trader, it's just profit, profit, profit forever. There's no other system in the world that just cranks out money without you doing anything. It's a tool that everybody has to have, really. And, I'm not a salesman, but I want to just grab people and just shake them. Because it kills me, that it's like, man, you're killing yourself out there working and you don't have any, and I know this doesn't exist anywhere else. There are no competitors. everybody's got to have an auto trader, but you know, we do what we can.
All we can do, and we have Attila and I have an additional blessing in that, and you're allowing us to spread the word as quickly as we can. Where I know we're still early in the game, and if somebody can prove you wrong that your software doesn't work, or somebody can prove us wrong in the examples that we've shown, all for it. Everything from our very first words, my very first words in setting expectations, is we are as factual as possible. Yes, we've given examples, but it's all based on truth. It's all based on what's happened. Not if this happens and this happens and the stars align, you divide it by the accelerated rotation of the earth, maybe it's going to work. The test is the test over?
Long over.
24 plus years
I
ago.
mean, I've been doing this for so many years, and the only, there's no way that there's nothing they can do. They have to run these companies out of business right away, to get an edge on you. Because once you start and you start building inventory and you start turning inventory and closing positions, it's just there's as crazy as it sounds, it doesn't even feel like it should be legal. I can't get that out of my head.
But you planted
Again, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything that everybody's not doing. You buy a coin at one price, you sell it at a higher price. Nobody can dispute that. I'm not violating any laws. What I'm doing is what the software is doing is money management and risk management and doing it all proper. Now, when you first get your auto trader, your natural instinct is, how come I put 4,000 into this thing and it didn't buy $4,000 worth of crypto? And then you start trying to do the math yourself, saying, well, how about if it even does, can you at least make it double? Why are you trying? I ask people, why is it that you feel you need it to put more of your money in? What is the mission? What are you thinking? And the answer I get really is, I want it to make more money. I said, well, is 100% a year enough? And then they say, well, yeah. Well, then leave it alone. You don't have to do anything. I mean, it's if you want 1%. If now here's one I'll get from someone who'll say, I want to make 1% a day. Well, now you're asking it to make 365% in a year. See, you always have to look at where you're headed. Where are you going with this? 1% a day is 365% a year, which is unreasonable. And then if you think about the compounding of that 1%, you're talking like 10,000% a year in a down market. It's like, stop it, that you're pure gamble. That's pure gambling. Anyone that says, well, I want it to make this much a day or this much a month, stop. The market doesn't care what you want.
No, it doesn't.
The market has one mission: get you out and let the big guy buy up all the shares at the bottom. Because when they, just like they did with the bank stocks, they bought them, they pushed them down to $1. The little guys all sold out because they felt like they were, oh my God, all the banks in the world are going to go out of business. Everybody sold their bank stocks, and then the whales loaded up at the bottom and they rocketed those prices to $50 a share. I've seen it. I've been watching it I've been live and breathe this market for 25 years. I know all the games. And the auto trader is just going to sit there and just keep cranking out money forever. And we are now at 2 hours and 25 minutes. So I want
to. We're done. Your final blessing is.
No, 3 hours and 25 minutes.
3 hours and 25 minutes.
I just want to thank Crypto Casey for letting us speak to her audience. I appreciate it. I mean, you're the best. And
I'm the best, or Crypto Casey's the best?
No, Crypto Casey's way better than you. I'm sorry.
That's awesome. But I want to say thank you again, Mr. Barsano, for making this all possible. We wouldn't be here without your dedication in, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to hurt you. Right. So that's going on a t-shirt as well. I want to thank everybody that has stayed with us. Some people have gone the way because they're going to get the recording. But think of it this way: we're throwing around crazy numbers, but imagine if it only made $20 a day on average, that's $7,300 a year. That's 21,900 over a 3-year period. So if I asked you to give me $3,400 and told you that I was going to give you 21,900, what would your answer be? So we'll leave you with that. Yep. Anthony, you're always a great support. April, we see a lot of faces. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. And you use the same registration link that you came on and registered here. Please do take time to join the community. It's not populated crazy yet, but we're going to be providing reports and added value. As a matter of fact, the value on the white paper that we just did, the purchasing power of your dollar, I'll put that in there so everybody can take advantage of it. And then it's an interactive community with us too. If you've got questions, or if you go, hey, have you considered doing this? Much like Ed did 25 years ago and has been doing ever since. Tell us what you want, and if it's reasonable, it fits into what our ecosystem is about, which is teaching you how to prosper, then we'll consider it. But you're part of the family, you're part of the community, and interact, be nice, uplift, as everybody has been here. And we love you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, God bless everybody.
Wait.
I plan to be going to the boards also and talking on the board.
Yeah. Well, you're invited. We'll see you come in.
Don't forget
Go
to
Navy.
go Navy, everybody. Go Navy.
I'm an Air Force
You
grad.
have young, nieces, nephews, cousins, uncle, or aunts, or not aunts and uncles, but young people. It's where I started in the Navy programming.
Yep.
Thank you.
Cheers. Take care, everybody.